Maverick Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello. And welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show, everybody. Happy Friday. Wake up. Hope everyone enjoyed day one of March Madness. Day two starts in about 3 hours. Another full day of basketball. Can't wait. Kyle Sandals here, as always. Ben Bosscher here, as always, as well. Sandal, let's start here. How's the bracket doing, my friend? How are we doing one day into March Madness?
Bosscher. Yeah, no, it's going terribly. So bad. Look, I just want to quickly get something off my chest here. I was convinced by yours truly, Ben Bosscher, to do the one bracket strategy this year. And I just want to make an early announcement. In the year 2027 of March Madness, I will be going back to being the 25 bracket guy. Being the one bracket guy, committing to it, is cool until the games start. And then it sucks. It makes March Madness not as fun. I don't get to enjoy it as much because I'm rooting for one specific thing to happen. When you fill out 25 brackets, you have every single outcome. You're just enjoying ball. You know?
That's fair.
I didn't get to root for High Point like I wanted to yesterday.
Here's the issue, though. I don't know if this is a systematic issue as much as it was yesterday a you issue, because as we're watching the games together, you just kept going, yep, 0-1. Now I'm 0-2. Now I'm 0-3. I think it took the Duke win for you. Problematic error in terms of my. It's my you thing, my friend.
Yeah. I started 0-4, by the way. 0-4 through the first 4 games.
Was it the Duke game that got you in the win column?
I think
or
so.
Did you have one before then?
I think it was the Duke game. And, here's just a quick representation of how my day went yesterday with my March Madness picks, folks. Siena is up 13 on Duke, and I'm finally committed. You know what? I'm live betting Siena. I'm doing it. I'm live betting Siena. Profit boost. It was plus 500 to win the game. They're up by 13. It's the second half. Immediately, the play happens where they miss 2 dunks, and then Duke comes down, dunks it. They go on an 11-0 run. Obviously, Duke wins.
And when he says immediately, I mean seconds later.
Immediately.
Siena just stopped scoring.
Yeah, pretty rough. But you know what? It's okay. March Madness is one of those things that, I'm running a group that has a lot of people in it, and I'm the worst. I have the worst bracket in it. I'm last place, and I don't really get upset about it. It's March Madness is about the madness. It's about being wrong. 99% of people are wrong in March Madness. So, that's the part of it that's just, you can't be upset about having wrong picks.
All I care about is starting out 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, because I think I did start 3-0 or 4-0. It wasn't until Louisville won that my bracket busted. And that's all I just want to be able to say for 5 minutes, yep, perfect bracket. And if I ever get through day one with a perfect bracket, then I'll be an incredibly happy person. But with that being said, it's you get down on yourself for starting 0-4 or whatever you end up starting. Day one doesn't matter. Day one, day two doesn't matter how your bracket's doing as long as you still have your final 4 teams alive. You're going to be fine down the stretch. So you may be in last place right now, Kyle. Don't be worried about being in last place in your poll on day one. You've got so much time.
All my Elite 8 still alive, which most people,
fine.
Probably everyone's is, but
the only Elite 8 that you might have had is Wisconsin if you really thought they could go on a run here. But High Point, what a game that they had. That number 99 kid, I think it's Richardson.
Johnston,
that's it. The threes that guy was hitting at the end of the game against Wisconsin, he hit 4 of them that were just ludicrous shots, pulling up from the logo, quickest release you'll ever see. Klay Thompson stuff in Game 5 or Game 6, Game 6 Klay stuff. It was one of the crazier outcomes of the day. I picked High Point, so maybe it wasn't one of the craziest outcomes of the day, but just the way that game ended was
I think it was the biggest upset
thrilling.
of the day. Yeah, I think it was for sure the biggest upset.
BYU might have been up there. I don't know who was favored by more points, but yeah.
The VCU comeback was good.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, like a 20-point upset.
I turned that game
comeback.
off because I thought it was over.
Yeah, no.
And then
went to overtime, too. It was the lone game to go to overtime.
And then I saw the text from you guys of just like, hey, they're coming back. And I was like, wait, what? I was so confused. The High Point coach, by the way, one of the more thrilling there goes Ernie Harwell. One of the more thrilling post-game locker room speeches in March Madness you'll ever hear.
That's what we came here for. We didn't come here to just win one. We came here to win 6. All right? We fought hard. We had a bad start, but we were clearly the better team. And that team has beaten 5 top 10 teams. So guess what that means? You guys can beat anybody in the country.
You want to go run through a wall or something? Oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, even like him in the post-game presser, like this guy was just so animated. He took the time to shout out all the other mid-major teams that like didn't make the tournament, and he included Miami, Ohio, just about how no one wants to play these teams during the regular season. You want to talk about strength of schedule, this and that. Well, no one wants to play us, and now we did get to play a good team, and look what happened. Like that guy was just so hyped up.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the Power 4 schools, if you're going to play a mid-major, first of all, you're never going to go to that place. There's no reason High Point would ever go to Wisconsin. Wisconsin's going to have to pay High Point to play them. But if you're one of the premier mid-majors in the country, and I don't mean I'm not going to include Gonzaga in that. They're kind of their own tier.
Of course.
But like a team like Miami, Ohio, a team like High Point, these big-time programs like Wisconsin or Arizona or whoever, Kansas, they're not going to want to play these top-tier mid-majors in the regular season. And it does put them at quite a big disadvantage come March because, like Miami, Ohio might be the exception because they really played nobody, and that's partly their own doing as well. But it's going to end up hurting these mid-majors more often than it's going to help them because, again, nobody wants to come play them.
Exactly. Like that's the most underrated thing about the hot topic of strength of schedule at-large bids for mid-majors. And we saw it, like the A-10 got an at-large bid in St. Louis. They didn't win their conference tournament. St. Louis still made the tournament, and obviously look what they did yesterday. VCU also advancing out of the A-10. You have 2 MAC schools, High Point winning. But that's the big point is people want to complain about strength of schedule with these teams, but when a team like that is playing against a power school, that school is paying the smaller school to come play them. Mm-hmm. Why would Wisconsin pay Miami when they could pay a much worse mid-major school? You know, why? Like you said, you don't want to get upset. You don't want to pay money for a team to come play you to lose to them. Why would you risk that? And so that's the most underrated part about all these mid-majors with the strength of schedule stuff is there is a reputation with teams like Miami and High Point. They're good teams, so no good schools want to play them. It's that simple.
Yeah, and that's where we've gotten to in terms of the mid-majors versus, the Power 4 programs. But you look around the bracket just on day one, you do have some of these, non-Power 4 conferences, mid-major conference teams just kind of going ape you-know-what. Like St. Louis last night.
Yeah.
Destroys Georgia. That game was never even close. They just decimated them right from the jump. Like I said, Gonzaga's kind of in their own tier, but High Point somehow hangs in there with Wisconsin long enough to pull out a victory. Like these mid-major schools actually, I think maybe are winners of the tournament yesterday. It's not like all of them won. A couple of them got embarrassed in a pretty big way, but the fact that 2 of them were able to pull out some wins, I mean, that alone I think is a big win.
It absolutely is. And I think if either Miami or Akron wins today, there's going to be a lot of conversation being had like going into next year about the mid-majors because it was those conferences that were the hot topics. It was the A-10, like, is the A-10's going to get an at-large bid just because St. Louis has been good all season long if they don't win?
Yeah,
and
rocked.
they did.
They've got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Exactly.
They've got Larry Nerd.
Did you see that? They ranked all of his nicknames. He's got a ton of them.
Yeah, I saw him blind rank them.
What's the Rob Wave? God, he has a Rob Wave one, but I can't remember
Plate?
What it is.
Was it Rod Plate?
That seems mean. I don't think it's Rob Plate, but the A-10, both of the teams that made the tournament have won. VCU and St. Louis both won yesterday. Like, that's awesome. The MAC has 2 schools playing today. If one of them wins, like, I think this is a really big moment for the future of the tournament with March Madness if they can get multiple teams from these mid-major schools advancing.
Yeah, and we've got a couple more going today. Would you include UCF in there?
UCF is in the Big 12, so I would.
Oh,
say
that's
no.
right. They did move a couple of years ago, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, some of these 2 seeds, I guess, have a chance, but probably not.
No.
That seems
it's
like
mainly
a
the
pretty
2
high mark.
MAC schools that I think have the chance to do it today. Obviously, there's like you said, the higher seeds.
I'd
but
throw Utah State in there as
Yeah,
well.
yep, Utah
but
State's a good one.
Villanova is not necessarily like a true Power 4 program, so that one gets a little like the Big East schools just
the
get a
Big
little
East kind
weird.
of counts though. Like it should be just called Power 5 in basketball because the Big East should just count. But yeah, Utah State's another good one. Like really good in the Mountain West all season long. They earned a high seed as well as a 9 seed. Like they're either the 8 or 9, so that's good for them.
How's everybody's brackets doing? 989-837-6125. We're here until noon today, and then that'll get you right into your March Madness games. 2 teams we haven't talked about, Michigan State. Which one of them impressed us more in round 1? They're both going to be in action on Saturday. We'll give you those times and everything when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mint. As always, brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. The 9 o'clock hour is presented by our friends over at Iron Stack Technologies. We know we talk about the game plan all the time on this show, the execution of it. And that's exactly how Iron Stack approaches IT. They help businesses stay secure, efficient, and ready for what's next so you can focus on your mission instead of your technology. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can check them online at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Breast. Mackey Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Michigan State both in action yesterday. Who impressed us more? Michigan, on one hand, only up by 4 at halftime, but they had 50 points. I don't know about you, Kyle. I never once thought that they were going to be in a close game. I know it was close in the first half, but come on, they were pacing for 100 points. That's what they end up getting. It's the 9th time they score 100 points this season. I was glad to see that they were able to take care of business in the second half. The first half didn't concern me at all. They ended up shooting 67.3%, which was the highest in a tournament game since Villanova in the 2016 Final Four versus Oklahoma, when they shot 71.4% from the field. I was impressed with Michigan, not as much as I was impressed with Michigan State, though. That was a spread that was half of what Michigan's was, 15.5. Michigan State, not necessarily known for as a team that takes care of business and just dominates from the jump. Usually they get off to the slow starts and they let the teams linger around, and it's a little closer than need be, but they know how to win. That wasn't the case yesterday. They completely dismantled North Dakota State in every way, shape, and form. Out-rebounded them, dominated them in the paint. Cohen Carr just dunked all over them, left, right. I mean, he has these crazy dunks, and now we're so immune to them that we don't even have really a reaction. It's just like, oh, whoa. Where anybody else does that and you're losing your mind, we're just so accustomed to it at this point. Cooper was just an absolute animal yesterday, took advantage of the smaller team. I was a little bit more impressed with Michigan State, granted, a little bit better of an opponent.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan State definitely was the more impressive team for 40 minutes. I think that's pretty obvious. I think State had one of the best wins of the day yesterday. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say it was the best. I think Nebraska totally dominated their game. Yeah. A couple of those late teams later in the slate dominated their game as well. But yeah, Michigan State just clearly showed their size, and even once North Dakota State hopped into a zone is only effective if you have the size to keep the ball out on the perimeter. You can run a zone, but you can still get the ball inside of a zone if you have the physicality that Michigan State does. And so they did a good job against any time North Dakota State brought that out. The amount of dunks that State had yesterday was just ridiculous. You said it with Cohen Carr, but Cooper had a ton of slams. Mm-hmm. Kohler did. Cam Ward had 4 of them in the first half. It was an awesome game for State to have basically zero threat of upset. Michigan also had zero threat of upset.
Yeah, I was never once worried about that.
But obviously, there was at least a couple points in the game where you were like, okay, what's going on here? That definitely was going on. My number one thought that I had was what happened to this number one defense? We can sit here and talk about the LJ Kaysen injury, Elliot Cadeau this. I think Cadeau has been fine. I think Cadeau has honestly stepped up ever since Kaysen has gone out.
Yeah, there was reason to be concerned, but Cadeau's been really good.
And I think it still could come up at some point in the tournament. If Cadeau does have a bad game, then you will pivot to oh man, wish they had LJ Kaysen to come in and take his spot. But I think ever since Kaysen has gone down, Cadeau has been pretty good. He's elevated his game. The defense though of Michigan has just been man, Ademar gets in foul trouble again early, and then when he was on the floor, that's when Howard was going off. Yeah, they hit a ton of threes, so of course that's going to help, but a 16 seed scoring almost 50 on you in the first half, this is the number one defense in the country.
I mean, they shot 14 for 29 from downtown. That's always going to come back and get you a little bit.
Of course, and they shot really good in the first half specifically as well. So the defense came to play in the second half, no doubt about it, but it's just that popped into my head. Man, this was the best defense in the country the entire season. And there's just been a couple of games now where I'm is this still the number one defense in the country? I don't know.
There was never a doubt who could dominate a team like that. Morez Johnson just has one of the greatest stat lines you'll ever see in a tournament game. 21 points, 10 rebounds. Nothing too crazy, right? Shoots 100% from the field, including hitting 1 3. I've been saying it all year. I'll continue to say it. Just such a grown man, just amongst children in some of these games, especially against the mid-majors. I saw a mock draft yesterday, Kyle. Ade Mara, Morez Johnson, Yaxel Ennerberg, all lottery picks. Every single one of them a top 14 pick. And I really wouldn't be surprised at this point because we knew that Yaxel was a borderline lottery pick in the NBA draft. He's been so good this year that I genuinely think he is a plug-and-play type of player on pretty much any NBA team that exists, he could go help out a lot of championship contenders right now, because it's not like you're asking him to be the star in the NBA. You're asking him to be a role player, and he does everything at a pretty high level. I think that's a guy who's totally worthy of a top 12 pick. Merez Johnson, the upside there is just, I mean, it's through the roof with just the size that he brings, the defense, and the fact that on the season now, I mean, he's shooting a pretty high clip from the outside. I know it's on a pretty low volume, but I guess it's not the size I thought. 25% from 3, but he's willing to take them.
Yeah, it's not like he won't shoot them.
And Mara's just the 7'4". Again, I'll say this again: 7 foot versus 7'4", enormous difference. And Mara being 7'4" with nice touch around the rim, I wouldn't be shocked if all 3 of those guys were top 14, top 15-ish picks. Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty crazy, I think. For all first rounders, I could absolutely see. For them to all go in the top half of the first round, I think would be kind of unreal, especially for what type of class that the NBA is going to bring in this year.
That probably means they won the championship, right?
Right, yeah, I would think so. I mean, because you see that happen a lot of the times, like when UConn won the championship a couple years ago, all of their guys just flew up the draft board. Like, it's something that does happen every time a team wins a championship. All of a sudden, it's the team you watch the most of. It's the biggest spotlight.
Yeah.
They come to play, then obviously they're going to get that praise from NBA scouts and all of that stuff.
But I mean, even last year with Khan, just flew up the draft board after the season ended.
Right, absolutely. I do think that Merez yesterday, that, it just goes to show that no matter what's happening in a Michigan game, and once again, like you said, did not feel like they were ever going to lose this game. This wasn't a Siena-Duke situation where you were like, wait a second. I mean, Howard never had the lead. So that's the part that obviously you felt good about Michigan. But they bring a different sense of physicality to the table. Even when, they're giving up threes, potentially Ade Mara's in foul trouble. When you just have Merez Johnson available to hey, okay, man, at the end of the day, we're playing Howard. These guys are small. You're huge, athletic. And he can defend, of course. That type of guy is never going to. If you have a guy like that, you're never losing to a small school like that.
Yeah, it makes them. He makes them essentially bulletproof against these super high seeds that they'll eventually have to run into. But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, St. Louis, I don't think it's going to be as easy as this Howard game. They're super fun. Obviously, if you stayed up late last night, you saw their offense come to the table. I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is fun, but Merez Johnson is probably doing the same thing to him as he did to Howard, and just probably shooting upwards of 80 to 100% from the field if he's guarding him. Same thing with Mara. I love the St. Louis story. I really don't think they have a shot against Michigan. I think they're so good, man.
It's tough because what were we talking about with Michigan yesterday before the game and basically leading up to the tournament?
How many teams they play that shoot threes?
These teams that spread it out and take a ton of threes, that is where Michigan potentially could lose because their inside the arc defense is incredible. You're not scoring in the paint on Michigan. You have to light it up from deep. I mean, think about the times that they lost this season. Their loss against Duke was Duke just out-physicaling them, the only team in the country that could. Their other 2 losses, teams lit it up from deep. And they just got really good looks outside, especially the Wisconsin game. St. Louis does that. I mean, they didn't shoot well against Georgia, yet they scored 100 points. So, they're going to have to shoot it well, of course, against Michigan. And then you have Alabama who's playing today, and you have these other teams that we've talked about in this region that they do shoot it a ton from downtown. And so I think if I'm a Michigan fan, I understand you won big, and you still end up winning by 20. You're up by 30 at one point in the second half after that first half. But I don't feel any different than how I did coming in, and that's not a good thing. I certainly don't feel like, they can defend the 3-ball better after how that game went against a 16 seed.
I don't necessarily feel different, but after watching St. Louis, it is a nice little reminder of this team just doesn't have as much size as Michigan. And seeing what Merez Johnson did to an undersized team, I feel a little bit better about that matchup specifically, which is probably not what a lot of people are waking up saying this morning, that you feel better about that matchup after what St. Louis did to Georgia. But at least Georgia had size. That could have at least threatened Michigan
they don't have
a little
Michigan
bit.
size. Yeah, I mean, I think Georgia probably was the scarier matchup for Michigan.
I agree.
Personally, just because they are the more high-powered offense. I know that saying that St. Louis scored 100 points, but Georgia's defense is pretty bad. I think that's kind of why they lost that game as big as they did. But yeah, I mean, Robbie Avila, their best guy with all the nicknames, he's just big. He's rounded. He's not this 7'3" guy like Ade Mara is.
Merez and Ade will have their way with that guy.
That's what I'm thinking. And so St. Louis has been a great team all year. It's definitely going to be a much tougher game than, of course, Howard was. But I don't think either team going into their next round matchup should be worried. I think that both teams have a great path to the Sweet 16.
989-837-6125. How far you got Michigan and Michigan State going in this thing? The show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your home with Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, the siding looking a little tired, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair and keep your home strong for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. So let's take a time out with March Madness. We'll be right back on that. Cade Cunningham collapsed lung yesterday after a little bit more, insight on it and great reporters doing great things, diving into the history of collapsed lungs in the NBA. I'm actually feeling a little bit better about it than I necessarily did when we first heard that, because when you hear collapsed lung, that sounds incredibly serious. Like, oh my God, is Cade going to miss multiple months here? But just in the last couple of years, CJ McCollum has had a collapsed lung twice, which apparently you can just get from getting basically checked in the back, because that's what happened to Cade. For some reason, I thought collapsed lung was like this incredibly serious injury, but I think he just got hit pretty good in the back, and I'm not a scientist, so I don't really understand how it works. Something happened with his lung. He needs 1 to 2 weeks to just kind of take it easy, not do a whole lot, which is probably really tough for a professional athlete. And then it's just a matter of getting you back up to being able to run again and play high-level hoops. I think he's going to be back before the playoffs start, if not right before or leading up to the playoffs. The concern now is not whether or not he can return for the playoffs. I think he will. The concern is, can he get ramped up to playoff mode that quickly? And also, is the 1 seed in a little bit of jeopardy? Are they going to be able to survive their final 14 games? Those are my two thoughts right now on the Cade Cunningham collapsed lung.
I think to your answer to the second question about can they survive, can they still be the 1 seed, can they keep this thing up while he's out? Because I think it's easy to just right now play it safe and assume he's going to miss the regular season. And if he does come back, then it's awesome. Like that's kind of the mindset that I'm operating under.
Which means no first-team All-NBA.
Which, by the
Middle
way,
finger to Adam Silver.
There's
That's
been
ridiculous.
like a lot of this has actually caused a lot of new discussion with that rule that I've heard. That basically this rule will be absolutely changed after this season.
It's a ridiculous rule. It's going to cost our guy a first-team All-NBA.
It's going to cause like multiple players who clearly are first-teamers this year, the first-team All-NBA. Like that's just kind of ridiculous in my brain.
Tyrese Maxey's about to be first-team All-NBA. Not to say
Maxey's been out too. Maxey's not going to make it. Like all these guys have missed time. And I get it. Like that's the whole point, is that they want these guys to play more.
But no one's doing the load management.
Yeah, exactly.
Anymore.
The load management is not real. Like, yeah, Cade has had a couple of scheduled rest days on back-to-backs, but it was when he was coming off of an injury still. Like, they don't just not play Cade for no reason.
But he's done it twice, and I think it's been on the road both times.
Yeah, like and it hasn't been something where it's he's missed 15 games because of this. Like,
and it was against Washington or somebody to that caliber.
Brooklyn. Yeah,
Brooklyn. They don't deserve to see Cade anyway. They don't have any fans going to those games. They would never in a million years just rest Cade in a big game. That would not happen.
Yeah, I agree. Like even a guy like Jokic has played 54 games this season with around, like 14-ish to go.
And he don't rest
14 to go. Kawhi Leonard has played 54 games this season. He doesn't even get rested anymore. He's just missed time because he's been an injury-prone guy in his career. Luka has missed a good amount of games this season. You see the way that guy's been playing lately?
He's unbelievable.
That guy's a first-team All-NBA guy no matter what. And so, like, the games played stuff, obviously LeBron isn't going to get there. There's a bunch of guys that aren't going to get there. And it's just it's caused a new debate where, like, clearly this rule is going to be at least asked to be changed going into next season.
And it's not like Cade has suffered from like a handful of injuries and he can't stay healthy. He had a collapsed lung. Like that is such a fluke random thing to occur because he got checked in the back. It's not like he can't be labeled as some injury-prone player because of that, and now it's going to cost him a spot on first-team All-NBA and a spot in the NBA history books.
Wemby's played 55 games, like another guy.
Yeah. I mean, that's an incredible achievement that is about to be taken away from him. He was a lock to make first-team All-NBA.
He still is a lock. Like, that's the issue. It's like there's a little amount of time left in the season where it shouldn't matter. And so, but to your point of, like, can the Pistons survive? The schedule makes me say yes.
Oh.
The easy games are now, right? I mean, and, like, the tough ones are towards the end. Obviously, you have the Lakers game coming up, and the Lakers have been playing like the best team in the NBA over the last couple weeks.
And you know who else has? Atlanta, and that's who they have to play on Wednesday. Atlanta has 10 straight wins.
True. Yeah, I guess you're right.
And they play Minnesota and OKC. Those are 4 of the next 6 games. I was going to tell you that this is a little bit of a more concerning schedule than I necessarily thought. Like, how many gimmies are there without Cade?
True. New Orleans,
Milwaukee,
New Orleans, Indiana. Milwaukee without Giannis for sure.
And that's it.
We don't lose to Toronto. Actually, they literally did lose to them.
Wait,
yeah.
did you throw Charlotte in there?
No, I was about to say them, and then I caught myself.
So with 14 games
No, you're
left,
right. You're
even
actually right.
without Cade, I would say there's only 3 gimmies, New Orleans, Milwaukee, and the Pacers. You're kind of just crossing your fingers hoping to play 500 basketball the rest of the way besides those 3 games, right?
And like, yes, and it's difficult to assume that because, like, of course, got to preface this. It's March Madness week. Tough to tap into the NBA this week.
For
Pistons
sure.
are on last night. They're playing the Wizards. Didn't watch a lot of it.
Neither did I, but this is the time of year where you, like, with 14 games left, you're kind of looking at the standings every single day. Right now they have a 4-game lead. Boston is coming in hot. They're playing the best ball of maybe anybody in basketball right now with the exception of, well, at least in the East. Let's just put it that way. And they don't have the easiest schedule either. Like, they also have to play Minnesota and OKC the rest of the year. They got to play New York, who they don't beat New York as often as we do. So, like, similar schedules, 4 games should be enough. But again, like, no Cade. We need to kind of realize this isn't a 1 seed without Cade Cunningham. There's a reason he was supposed to be first-team All-NBA and in the MVP conversations because he's really valuable to this team. And now that they don't have him,
I mean, he might be more valuable to this team than like any other superstar to their team as far as good teams go.
I mean, I'll just write in the Lakers as a loss right now.
Yeah,
They're not beating that team, and they're not beating Minnesota, and they're not beating OKC. And they play Minnesota twice. So just like that, there's 4 losses that are coming the rest of the way. Can you win 6 more games
You know what
besides
4
that?
more losses means, too? Like, the sad part?
They don't break their own record.
No 60 wins.
Yeah.
Like, getting to 60 wins, it was like, that'd be so awesome to get to 60 wins. 4 more losses would not mean that. And so, I just think, too, like, the big part about this is who is stepping in for Cade? It's Danis Jenkins and Marcus Sasser, man.
That's bad, man.
It's
really
bad. It's really bad. Like, that's the part about that makes it so frustrating. It's like, if Dennis Schroeder was on this team, like, I'm just thinking about.
I was going to bring
I'm
up.
thinking about last year. You know, of course, like if this would have happened last season, I wouldn't have been as worried. Now, last season, obviously, the Pistons were not the 1 seed, so it's kind of foolish to say that. But just looking at last season's roster, like if you had a better trusted veteran guard on this team that could fill in for this spot for the Final 14, I'd feel fine. But Danis Jenkins is a G League guy who has really, you know, not been as good in the second half of the season. We shouldn't have to rely on Danis Jenkins to be some awesome secondary creator. And then Marcus Sasser legit was just not a part of the rotation until Asar Thompson got injured. And he's been reinserted to this rotation over the last, 8 games. And now he's just going to be a 20-minute-a-night guy. And odds that both of those guys don't have it going on the same night, I feel like are about 50-50 every game.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, Boston's just kind of destroying everyone in their path right now. They've got some tough games,
Yes.
but so do the Pistons. 14 games, 4-game lead. You should have enough of a wiggle room there to not blow it.
Especially with no head-to-heads against that team either.
Correct, and you already won the season series, so you're up 4 games, but it's realistically more like 5.
Yeah.
That should be enough. They should still lock up the 1 seed. But, I mean, if Cade's even missing 1 playoff game, I don't think they, no matter who they're matched up against, I just don't think that they can win these games. I don't think they can beat any playoff team without Cade.
Any? Not even Toronto?
Not in a playoff. Maybe Toronto. They did just lose to them.
They did.
But I'm saying in a playoff atmosphere without their best player, maybe in a regular season game they can sneak a win by like Philly or by Toronto or by Atlanta. But if they have to actually play these guys in a playoff series without Cade Cunningham, I'm sorry. I'm just not going to pick them to win.
The good news is Jalen Duren has just once again become inhuman, which is pretty awesome. Now, it has been against Washington.
Let's relax. That's a team that let Bam score 83.
But, even in a game against the Lakers, yeah, you're right, 83, man, that's crazy. Even the game against the Lakers, we're just writing that in as a loss. Dude, Duren's going to have 32 and 18 in that game.
Yeah. Let's lock this in now. Lock of the day on Monday's got to just be whatever Jalen Duren's
Just Jalen Duren, but you might have to go alt over, 20
30 points
to score 25, because his over-under probably be 22, 23 and a half. Duren has just been going off lately, and of course, it's tougher for him to get it going without Cade.
This actually might be a betting cheat code to just take Duren's over every game until Cade comes back. Every game.
Probably should have started that, honestly.
Yeah.
Because you brought it up the other day for lock of the day in the first game against Washington, and before Cade even got hurt.
He had 36.
Yeah, he absolutely went crazy. So, Yeah, not only are the Pistons at the point right now where I valued these games at the end of the season because a lot of them come against teams you might face in round one. You know, you have the game against Orlando at the end of the year. Milwaukee is probably out of it by now without Giannis, but, like, they were a team you were looking at. Charlotte, of course. Philly is in this mix now. Like, you have these games against teams that
Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, you're not facing Toronto in round. I guess
Toronto's
you could.
free-falling.
I
Yeah,
guess you
you're
could.
still probably not. They're
They're
two
only
and a half games up.
Yeah, they're only 2 games back of the 8th seed. Like, that's not bad. So you have all those games against those teams. That's why I valued them.
Hell, man, Atlanta.
Now, of course, you're feeling much more scared because
there's
you
some
don't have
good
Cade.
teams at the bottom of the East. Some teams that are playing pretty good basketball right now. Even in Miami, I'm not that worried about Orlando, but Paolo's playing a lot better. Atlanta's one of the hottest teams in the league right now with 11 straight wins. There's a lot of good teams in the Eastern Conference.
And Miami Heat have the guy who scored the most points ever. So there's a lot of good teams down there.
If they don't have Cade Cunningham, I wouldn't pick them to beat anybody in a playoff series.
Not
Would
even
you?
in the first round?
No.
Oh, come on, really?
What team are you picking them to beat without
you're saying
Cade?
no Cade the whole series?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not going to happen, though, right?
We don't think so.
You're right.
I would guess no, but
That's just
I don't
the
think there's
scary
any
part.
guarantee with this collapsed lung thing.
The scary part about it is, like you said, the ramp up. It's not about whether or not he's going to miss it. It's the fact that, like, this is the time where you get geared up for the playoffs.
Well,
you got to be ready. Like, think about the pressure and just the physicality that was on Cade in one single playoff series last year.
Yeah.
Now you expect to have 3 of those this season.
And it's not like you're fighting through a hand injury or an ankle sprain where you can play on it and just.
It's just a nagging thing. Yeah.
This is
affects,
a lung
This affects
injury.
your fatigue. This affects your movement. Like, yeah, this is definitely concerning.
Well, also, like, it's not something that it's like, no, I'm playing, I'm suiting up on the sprained ankle. This is probably something that a doctor is going to have to, like, be like, no,
assume,
you can't play. Like, we're just simply not letting you. Because what happens if you start running around with a collapsed lung? I don't know. I'm not willing to find out either.
Yeah,
Let that guy get healthy.
Out.
Really bad timing for all of this.
Anyone who's ever had a collapsed lung, let us know in the YouTube chat what you did.
Or text in 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We've got winners and losers of March Madness coming up. We'll hit the news. It's all coming up here on the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on YouTube, live on Facebook as well. Don't forget. Mr. Appliance, your go-to fast, reliable home appliance repair right here in Midland. From refrigerators and ovens to washers and dryers and more, they'll get you back up and running with confidence. Keep your home running smoothly with Mr. Appliance. Schedule service today at MrAppliance.pro.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Kyle, take it away with the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, here we go. Let's get right into the news. Obviously, we had a ton of March Madness yesterday, but there is actually other sports going on this time of year. I didn't really know that until
Should I
today.
start booing you as you did to me when I brought up Lions things?
I'm not going to bring up any Lions things.
Okay.
We do not care. Let's take a look first at the community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. This weekend here in Midland, you can grab your St. Patrick's Day gear and head for the Downtown Development Authority's 4th annual Shamrock Sip and Strut. It starts Friday, goes from 6 to 9 p.m., and it's going on this weekend as well. So the St. Patty's Day celebration continues this weekend here in Midland. Okay, Red Wings last night. Did you have something to add there?
Nope. I'm good.
Overrated holiday, right?
I mean, we celebrated it last weekend, and now it's on Tuesday, but we're still celebrating it this weekend. I don't know. It was like Christmas. We're
Right.
just doing this a whole week.
It's a long holiday, I guess. Maybe even the next weekend, too, we could keep it going.
Why not? May as well.
Right.
Next weekend's April, but sure.
The Red Wings were also playing last night. That's right. So you had the Pistons and the Wings on, which is just unfortunate, man. Cancel all other sports on this Thursday and Friday. You can play Saturday. I don't care. But the Wings did win 3-1 over the Canadians. It seems like they only be doing this losing thing when we're actually paying attention to them.
Yeah, they'll like pick up a few wins. It's like, watch out for the Wings. And then as soon as everyone's like, okay, we're looking at
I'll
them.
watch them. Yeah, they
It's
lose
like,
3 in a row.
Yeah, man, they're a
Good win, though. Good win.
really good win. I still have some big-time concerns about that team come playoff time, but I'm just going to shut my mouth because I don't want to spread negativity into this world on a Friday. But yeah, they just don't have a true identity, and that I think is my biggest problem with the Wings. I don't know what they're trying to be good at. They're pretty good. They're like okay to good at everything, not really great at anything.
Hopefully that's good enough to still be a playoff team.
Yes,
And
that's
make a little bit of noise in the
that's
playoffs.
unfortunately where the bar is right now, is making the playoffs.
But they need to get to that bar, though. Like, if they do, then I'll be like, okay, this is good enough, I guess, for now. Okay, we got
Which is
game...
sad because we're in like year 7 of Steve Yzerman.
Sure. Yzer plan, though. Trust the process? Is it still going according to plan?
It's a long process, man.
It is a long process, just like Phillies was. We got game times for tomorrow's Michigan and Michigan State games. And boy, Ben, I just want to shake your hand to whoever created these time slots, because Michigan and Michigan State get the 2 early games here on Saturday. Michigan St. Louis at 12:10 on CBS. MSU Louisville immediately after at 2:45 on CBS. Of course, both of these games will be played in Buffalo, New York.
That's excellent. You get them out of the way. You get to wake up, watch some ball, and then you have the freedom to continue on with your day or watch more basketball. I'm sure that's what a lot of fans will be doing.
Yeah.
But I like just knocking these out of the way. They should both be. Do we have spreads on those games?
We do.
yet?
You want to guess them?
Yeah, with Michigan St. Louis, I'll go Michigan 12.5.
Nailed it.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's exactly the spread.
That's exactly the spread.
And then with Michigan State, Louisville, I'll go Michigan State by 7.5.
A little bit shorter of a line. MSU by 4.5
Okay.
against the Cardinals.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I think they're. I mean, I know they're without their best player.
Correct.
I feel
no
like-
Mikal Brown Jr. for Louisville. See, here's why I don't feel, and I'll make this quick because I know we're doing not March Madness stuff. I think MSU is going to be totally fine because Louisville, almost blew that game to South Florida, and South Florida could not make a 3 to save their life. That game should have never been a comeback from South Florida, and it almost was. So that's why I'm feeling pretty good about that for the Spartans.
Yeah, I don't view Louisville as a huge threat, and I could eat my words, but I really think Michigan State's moving on to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I think so too. No overlap here for either of these games. I guess that's why I'm most excited for them, because most of the games after that, there will be 2 games going on at once, sometimes maybe even 3 games going on in the later slate.
Really?
So no overlap
Even on
here.
Saturday and Sunday,
Not,
there's 3 games
not
at a
quite
time?
3, actually. There's a game at 7:50, a game at 8:45, a game at 9:45. So, probably not. Maybe the 7:50 and the 9:45 overlap a little bit. But, yeah, the late game is High Point, Arkansas at 9:45, which I'm cool with the late games on the weekend. It sucks when they're like last night. I just can't stay up for that, watching so much basketball all day.
Luckily, most of them were
sleepy.
blowouts.
Right, exactly. Couple more things in the news. LeBron James last night ties Robert Parrish for the NBA's all-time games played record. So in the next game, LeBron is going to break that record. Is their next game the one against the Pistons? Because they've played like 3 games in 4 days here. Let me take a look at their schedule.
Hold on, I got it pulled up.
Because that'd be pretty sweet if their next game is against Detroit.
No, they've got one against the Magic.
Orlando.
Tomorrow.
That's unfortunate. Yeah,
You said he has to do what?
he just got to play one more game, and he has the all-time games played record. Robert Parrish currently owning that. So just every record, of course, at some point will be taken over by LeBron. That one is the next one.
Do you see the conspiracy that, you know how everyone thinks the NBA should be 72 games or 70 games instead of 82? Just
It's a
that's-
conspiracy?
No. Well, no, hold on. I'm getting into that. You know how that's just the consensus that there's too many games? What if LeBron on the way out is like, this is the way it should be. There needs to be less games. And then every record for the rest of eternity is just his. That would make him the GOAT. That would actually make him the GOAT. That is next level manipulation.
It's pretty genius. 82 games just way too much, but it would never change because of, one, the money, two, the records. It sucks. Everyone knows it. But you're right. I mean, it's pretty consensus. Speaking about in that game, though, Luka, 60 ball last night against the Heat. The Lakers have won 8 games in a row. Luka has just been on another level. I mean,
he's unbelievable.
60 on the second night of a back-to-back when he already went off the night before.
It's crazy how easily he just is like, I'll just shoot it right here. You're in my grill. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to take it. Every shot he takes is a good look, it feels like, which is maybe the hardest thing to achieve in the NBA, is constantly getting, like, how often do we watch the Pistons and we're just like, oh, not that wasn't a good look. It just doesn't happen with him.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
It is bizarre. We got some NFL stuff and some more March Madness stuff, but we will save that for later.
All right, 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We are live on YouTube as well, so go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button on that end of things. You can watch us on Facebook as well. Follow us there at 100.9 The Mitt. We've got more on March Madness, our brackets, and the best and worst of the tournament through day one when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.
Blazy Electric Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, welcome back in. Best and worst of day number 1 of March Madness. There was a lot of good, there was a lot of bad. What was actually the best thing to occur yesterday, Kyle? In your opinion, what was the greatest moment, the best of the best that we had in day 1 of the tournament?
It's got to be the High Point win, right?
I was going to go with the High Point in general because of the coach, because of the win, because of the three-pointers. Number 99, yeah.
Like, here's the craziest part about that win for High Point yesterday is obviously that number 99 has those threes that kind of got him back into it. The one logo three was just ridiculous.
One of the more ridiculous shot attempts I've ever seen.
They were down by 8, and it was like 5 seconds into the shot clock from the logo. Like, that tells you what type of shooter he is.
Beyond the logo. He was like 2 steps in from half court and basically launched it off of 1 foot. It was insane.
But clearly, his teammate got it to him. Like, that's a shot that he probably takes in a lot in the regular season. But the wildest part about that play is that he hits the game-winning layup in the fast break, and that was the only 2 he made all year. That's one of the wildest stats I've ever heard. He was 0 for 4 on 2s in the entire season. He legit only took 3s. Imagine your only 2 all season is the game-winning fast break layup to win your program's first ever NCAA tournament game. Unreal stuff.
And it was a tough layup with the finger roll, and you've got a guy basically right on your back.
And it was a catch, and you didn't even have time to dribble. Like, you're going full speed.
Yeah.
That's not easy. Like, obviously it looks easy, but especially when you don't take 2s.
Not attempting a 2 all year is one of
the... Well, he attempted 4, but he didn't make
attempted.
any. Yeah.
That is one of the crazier stats I've ever heard. That is 2026 basketball at its finest.
How do you not get one? How did he not have a play like that in the season where he got a fast break layup? It's just ridiculous.
And then just for anyone who missed the open of the show, here's what High Point's coach had to say about knocking off Wisconsin to his team in the locker room after the game. It's going to get you ready to run through a wall.
That's what we came here for. We didn't come here to just win 1. We came here to win 6. All right? We fought hard. We had a bad start, but we were clearly the better team. And that team has beaten 5 top 10 teams. So guess what that means? You guys can beat anybody in the country.
He's cutting like a WWE promo. He's getting those guys fired. I would love to play for this guy.
Look, man, we clowned on Sarah a lot yesterday, but we got High Point in the Sweet 16 in that mid bracket.
Who do they have to play
That
next?
might be our greatest accomplishment. They play Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas looked pretty good last night, too, with Acuff.
They did, absolutely. I think another one of the best parts of March Madness was, and we haven't really touched on this much, the fact that Siena, legit had a chance against Duke.
Yeah.
What?
And Duke still won, which I think is, the fact that we got that game with Duke and the whole time the entire country's like, wait, is Duke about to lose? And you get this for, 35 minutes of the game, and then Duke pulls it out, and it's perfect. We get the Duke, because now we go into the next game, is Duke frauds?
Yeah, exactly.
And then no matter what, the rest of the tournament, we get to do that. Well, what happened with Duke and
they
Siena?
almost lost to Siena.
And that was the most perfect outcome. That is better than the actual upset. The threat of the upset entire time.
It's not better than the actual upset.
But now we have an actual storyline for Duke going into the future rounds.
Yes, we do.
That makes it better.
For sure. It's better than Duke just blowing out Siena, absolutely. Because, it's not like a Michigan Howard thing where it's Howard's hanging around for a while. No, Siena had a 13-point lead in the second half, right before the first media of the second half. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, Duke clearly went into that game sleepwalking. Not caring,
totally.
Not getting up for it, and Siena came to play and played all 5 of their starters all 40 minutes.
Yeah,
you felt
what?
it. I understand the premise of it, of just oh my God, we're beating Duke.
Yeah, you're selling everything out just to win this game. Win one game.
And we're beating Duke. We don't trust our bench. Let's just keep our guys in. I don't know if that was the plan or not for them to play 40 minutes. But as soon as
it was.
As soon as Duke recaptured the lead, with 5 minutes left, 6 minutes left in the game, you could see it. They didn't have it in their legs anymore on the jumpers.
I mean, you could see it even when they were still up by 7. Duke just was crawling back, and Siena did a good job of holding on to the lead as long as they could. But like you said, at some point when you're playing that type of team, Duke, who might be the most physical team in the country, Cam Boozer, who plays a style that is just a punishing style of basketball. You don't have any subs. Like, it's going to go down the drain at some point.
Boozer was getting harassed every time he got into the paint. There was just 6 Siena guys somehow. Somehow an extra body spawned in
out there.
And just everyone's just – and he got to the foul line a lot. But, yeah, they did not make it easy on that guy at all.
No.
A worst of March Madness. I have all the Boozer commercials, way too many of them. I just see these kids and the dad, Carlos, way too often on my TV. The cuts to Carlos Boozer 100 times throughout the game. It's the fakest beard I've ever seen in my life. He's in all these commercials. I haven't seen any of these commercials until the start of March Madness. I think that's when they debuted him. But I swear these Boozer twins and the dad are in like half the commercials I'm watching right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool story, so I understand why. Like, it makes sense. You know, like, Boozer was a great NBA player. His son's going to be – I mean, his son is the best player in college basketball. The Duke thing makes it even cooler. Like, I get it. It makes sense why they're doing it.
Yeah, let's talk again on Monday because I have a feeling you're also going to hate it by Monday.
That's a good point.
Everyone's going to hate it by
Until
Monday.
Duke loses, though.
It would be something.
No, I mean, we talked about this yesterday with Clayton, and he was mainly talking about it with Michigan. But, like, every team does get, like, a run for their money at some – every national champion gets a run for their money at some point during the tournament.
Yeah.
What if Duke's just happened in the first game?
And then they blow everyone out the rest of the way.
Right.
We should blind take Duke's spread on Saturday. Whatever it is, just like, yeah, they're showing up.
I mean, I can tell you what it is right now because obviously their matchup is already set. Duke TCU, Duke by 11.5.
Oh, my God. Smash it. I think this is going to be one of those games where it's like, hey, what happened to Duke? And then they just first round knockout against TCU.
TCU also just almost blew that game against Ohio State as well. So
they
basically did blow it, and then
they
just clutched up at the end. They like re-clutched up. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good first game. The first game is always great.
I thought we were going to get a buzzer beater in the first game. Like we almost did. We didn't get any real buzzer beaters or game winners even. No. I guess the High Point one kind of counted, but Wisconsin still had plenty of time after that, so not really a game winner.
Yeah, and then the VCU one is just clutch buckets, but no game winners.
But almost in the VCU one, UNC, like on the inbounds, got the steal and almost had the pick six buzzer beater for the win. It would have been an awesome buzzer beater, and it obviously didn't go.
The best. I know they lost. AJ DeBance is so good, man. He ends up going down to Texas, so there you go. There was one of your rules that a play-in team had to win a first-round matchup.
They just always do, man. So that means Miami's going to lose probably.
It ends up being Texas, but DeBance drops 35 points against Texas. Unbelievable. I loved watching that game.
Yeah, and it was on a lot of twos as well. He got to the free throw line a ton, but like he wasn't making a ton of shots from deep.
He was 1 for 7 from behind the arc, so it was all from inside.
Right. Sean Miller from Texas, too, when they asked him about, like, in one of their sideline hits, did you see that during the game? They were like, Coach, like, DeBance has got 20 in the first, like, he's going off. Like, how do you stop him? And he was just like, we can't. He's like, we've got. He's like, we've got game plans to like try to fix everything else, but we cannot stop him.
I love when coaches do that.
Fully
stuff.
Open, yeah. It's like it's fun when they do stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, DeBance is awesome. He obviously like it sucks that they lost. Their team was depleted. They had so many guys that were down with injury. That game, the end of that game, it made me mad though. Like Texas was giving BYU every opportunity to get back into that game. Texas big man missed like 8 free throws in a row. They just kept fouling down the stretch, never made one, and then BYU couldn't score. Like BYU should have had a chance to at least come back and win that game, and they, of course, fumbled.
What's the game? Well, I guess that would kind of spoil our game of the day, so we'll hold off on doing that for now. But I think there are some big-time games coming up today. I think there's some big-time upsets potentially in the making today.
It feels like day 2 always kind of is the sneaky upset day, right? Like day 1 is that you get the taste of March Madness.
And then everyone complains.
There's 1 or 2.
Oh, there wasn't a big upset.
There's not enough upsets. We didn't even get a big one. Like the Purdue Farley Dickinson one happened on day 2. So like stuff like that. I think you're right. I think we're due for the biggest upset of the tournament so far today.
And if there isn't any upsets, guess what? We have better teams.
Round of 32 will be pretty good.
Yeah. 989-837-6125. It's the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We're not going anywhere until noon, sending you right into March Madness, day number 2. Midland Area Community Foundation, they're dedicated to keeping our community tight, strengthening our community through generosity and connection, supporting local nonprofits, scholarships, and projects that make Midland a better place to live, work, and play. That is the Midland Area Community Foundation.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, who are you more impressed with, Michigan or Michigan State in the first round of the March Madness tournament? I thought Michigan, they put on a really good game in the second half. Obviously, that first half, maybe a little bit too close for comfort. Up by 4. It was 50-46, and Howard was just lights out from behind the arc in the first half and found their way into a game at halftime. Michigan just blows them out in the second half. Right from the jump, it was just not even close to competitive, and maybe there's a way you can look at that of like, oh, well, Michigan's what happened there in the first half, but I don't know. I'm really not that concerned. Morez Johnson just totally dominated his competition. He goes 8 for 8 from the field, puts up 20-plus points, and then has a double-double as well with 10 rebounds. That, to me, is maybe making me feel a little bit better about their St. Louis matchup here in the second round, which is Saturday at noon, or 12:40. Is that it? 12:40?
Yeah.
It's the early game. That makes me feel a little bit better about that because, yes, St. Louis just had an incredible game, putting up a ton of threes. It was nasty. But at the same time, look at what look at what Morez Johnson did to an undersized team. And now they're going up against a St. Louis team that is going to be undersized. They've got this Kareem Abdul-Jabbar guy. It's an incredible story. He's fun to watch. He was in the tournament last year with a different team, now over in St. Louis. But, I don't really see how he's stopping Ade Mara or Morez Johnson in the paint. So I feel fine about Michigan making it to the Sweet 16. It was Michigan State that impressed me maybe a little bit more based on, they played a little bit tougher of an opponent. Their spread, unlike Michigan's, wasn't 31.5. It was 15, so still pretty big. But, isn't this kind of Michigan State's thing? They let teams linger around. They play close games. They don't cover. If they do, it's late. Michigan State jumped on them early and never looked back. That was maybe the more impressive part for Izzo Spartans.
Yeah, this has been something that State has done year in, year out in the tournament, is their round one matchup. I always get just terrified every year. I convince myself they're going to be upset. And maybe that's just PTSD, of course, from Middle Tennessee State, even when they're a higher seed. And they haven't lost in the round of 64 in quite some years. So this isn't a common thing by any means. But, yeah, it was nice to see that. There was 0% chance of upset percentage yesterday. North Dakota State, it was over from the jump. MSU got off right away. Clearly they were too big, too physical. And I think the big thing with this MSU team, and something that maybe I didn't consider going into the tournament as far as my confidence level in them going on a deep run, Carson Cooper has just become a really good big. It's not even
he's good.
It's not even a thing anymore where it's he's not bad anymore. No, he just is straight up pretty good. He is just, his improvement, his development throughout his 4 years here at MSU have just been, you got to give him a ton of credit, of course, but
do you want a Carson Cooper stat?
Sure.
Finish what you were going to say first.
Well, I was just going to say, we love to, not just me saying you and I, but as a community, Tom Izzo gets a lot of flack about the current modern day of college basketball, but one thing that has never left Tom Izzo is his development of players. Mm-hmm. And Carson Cooper, case in point, right there. Think about him as a freshman to right now. He has turned himself into a legitimate, pretty good big here in March Madness, which is great for the Spartans.
He doesn't have one more year left, does he?
No, but there's been some talk about it. I think that there's a world where he can get another year. I actually was just seeing something on Twitter about this during our break, so I wouldn't count it out.
Here's the stat I have for you. Cooper's the first Michigan State player since Magic Johnson.
Oh God.
To record this stat line in an NCAA tournament game. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 75% from the field. Magic Johnson, Irvin, that guy, first player to... I could just stop talking.
Yeah,
it doesn't even matter what the stats are.
First player since Magic Johnson, that's all I need to hear.
And it's Carson Cooper of all people in that group.
Point guard and a center. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
He looks like Michael Jordan. We used to make fun of him a lot because it blew my mind how bad he was. I thought he was the worst rotation player in the Big Ten because he couldn't catch a basketball to save his life. And when he had the basketball in his hands, you could see it in his eyes. It was pure panic. It was, somebody come take the ball. Dribble handoff. He wouldn't even look at the basket.
Every time they would give him post touches, I would freak out. And now it's it's sometimes a good source of offense.
Give him the ball.
Yeah.
Give him he's so much stronger than everybody
He's great
down
in the
there.
paint. If he catches the ball in the paint, he's great down there.
And sometimes he still misses out on the catch on
sure.
it. But the lobs.
He's so good with the lobs. And obviously that's a ton of credit to Fears, but he finishes extremely well. It's just unreal to think about what he's become. He was the OG. If you're a real listener of the Ben Bosscher Show and the Payoff, he was the OG Will Cheddar, the guy that Ben had beef with. Now it's Will.
Except I don't think Cooper ever saw our stuff.
No, but
Will Cheddar legitimately hates me.
If Cooper did see the stuff though, would have had a real reason to jump you in the street.
Yeah,
and now that's Will Cheddar. So it's kind of funny how it's
say
shifted.
anything bad about Will Cheddar. Will Cheddar just
you literally did
me.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I probably did.
Yeah.
Mark says Michigan impressed me earlier. When they won those early season tournament games by big margins. Well, that's fine. We're talking about the first round of this tournament, who impressed us a little bit more. Drew says, Michigan, they played only one guy. In all reality, both teams looked pretty good and started their journey to meet in the national championship game. Oh, man. Wouldn't that be something? Michigan State would have to take down Duke, Kansas, St. John's.
Duke will lose first.
I don't.
No, you're right. Yeah, I mean,
it would be one of the crazier.
They've never played in the tournament. Like that would be unreal.
I don't think it's crazy right now to just be like, yeah, that'd be the craziest matchup of all time in the championship. A Michigan State in-state rivalry game. Sign me up. I wonder if that's ever happened in March Madness.
Not between those two teams.
No. An in-state rivalry in the championship game.
Yeah, like a Duke, North Carolina type thing.
Yeah.
Like just something like that. Yeah,
I would guess no.
It's probably had to have happened at some point, I would guess. But, like, yeah, it's just the fact that I mean, that would be the likelihood of it happening is as high as it's ever been because both teams are really good. And I think Michigan State, like, has gained some people of, like, oh, like, they could actually go on a run here if things go their way. Of course, I don't know if State has the capability of beating, like, 2 elite teams back-to-back. They're going to need some help. Like, I think they could beat Duke. But I don't think they could beat Duke and then turn around and beat Houston. So, like, that's the part about that I don't know if they're going to be able to do. They're going to need some help. And, of course, Michigan, everyone has the confidence in the world that they're going to go.
I don't know if I do believe that Michigan State can beat Duke, to be honest. We saw them play, and Boozer just completely annihilated them in the second half. They had no answer for
Could
them.
I argue State's playing better right now than they were then?
They for sure are.
And
But I
Duke,
still
not that
wonder
Duke
if
isn't, but, like...
I just right. Michigan State is playing a lot better. I just still wonder if they have any sort of answer for Cam Boozer.
And, I mean, we all have to know the answer to of, like, no team has ever lost their first game in the conference tournament and then won the national championship. That does.
Do you buy into some of that stuff, though? Because
I mean,
feel like
it's never happened ever? Like, yeah, I do. Stuff like, look, when it's a never, when there's a 100% hit rate, I do buy into that stuff, yes. Now, the stuff where it's like they had to be top 12 in the Week 6 AP poll, every champion, since 2003 has been part of that. That stuff I don't love because that just feels very fluky. But once again, it's every single one. So, like, that's the part that is pretty tough.
The thing about that stat, though, that no team that's ever lost their first conference champion or conference tournament game has won a title, like, that doesn't include that Michigan State had triple bye, though, and was playing a good team that was hot.
No, you're right. The context definitely matters, 100%.
Like, yeah, that makes sense.
This is the first
if you're
year
one
of the triple
crappy
bye.
teams.
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense if you're a crappy team who had to play early and you lost early. But when you have a triple bye and you lose, it's like okay,
you're already in the
whatever.
quarterfinals. Yeah, you're already in the top 8 of an 18-team conference tournament. Like,
and then sure, odds are just in the favor of everybody else. Like all the teams that didn't lose. Yeah, odds just suggest that those teams are going to win. I don't know if I necessarily buy it.
I think that's fair.
Do I think Michigan State's a championship team? No. Do I think if
they
things
could go
break
to
right, they could go to the Final Four?
I was just going to say that. I think their cap is going to the Final Four. I think they could. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be adamant that they are, but, like, I think they definitely have a chance to go to the Final Four. I mean, what would we do if it was Michigan State in the national championship game? What do you do? I don't know what to do.
I think my mind would explode.
It's kind of like the conversation you have of, like, if the Lions made the Super Bowl, how do you operate? Like, I don't know how
I don't think I'd function.
How would I operate if it was Michigan State? You only have one day to turn around and think about it too, because the Final Four is on Saturday, championship game's Monday night. You don't even have time to, like, digest that is happening.
Yeah, but we would have that whole week to be like, this could happen.
Sure. See, the route I would take, I would be like, there's no way this is happening. Like, that's how I would feel.
If they both make it to the Final Four, you got to go in with the idea of, like,
sure,
there's a
could,
chance.
But
if they both make the Elite Eight, we're going to start talking about it.
I think that's that's too early to start talking about it. They got to be in the Final Four.
Okay, how about this? If one team of them makes the Elite Eight, all of a sudden it's like, hey, man, one more has to make it, and then all of a sudden it's possible.
You mean the Final Four?
No. One team makes the Final Four.
Like wins in the Elite Eight.
And then it's like, whoa, this might happen, especially if Michigan State's the one to do it first. Like, if Duke goes down, that's a real possibility.
I've really had a bad history of starting to talk early when things happen. AKA, like, when I bought my Big Ten tournament semifinal tickets before Michigan State was there. And then they lost to UCLA, and I paid money to watch Michigan play. Oh, great. That was fun.
I'm sure it was. It was a great game that you saw.
Yeah, no, it was fun. But, it makes me think about Michigan State on that Monday night. One, I'm not doing anything on Monday. Like, I'm not doing anything on Monday, and I'm surely not doing anything on Tuesday.
You're not coming into the show?
Well, I'm doing the show, but, like, I'm just saying
Leaving me hanging?
the general consensus. Like, there's no way the population is doing anything that Monday. Certainly not Tuesday. Like, the whole state should shut down. That should be just an automatic.
Come on, Whitmer. Give us the day
automatic thing, like
give the people the day off.
Exactly. And then just as far as how am I watching, who am I watching with? Because I, of course, have state friends. I have Michigan friends. Am I watching it by myself because it's too scary? Like, so many different things that would be going through my head.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, and we are live right here on 100.9 The Mitt. We will take a trip around the league when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Here's what we've got. A trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
We've done a lot on free agency for the NFL. You know what we haven't done yet? Just straight up winners and losers through a weekend, 2 days, which is really like, it's kind of been like 2 weeks of free agency. So let's just do it. Winners and losers of free agency. You know who a winner is? Baltimore Ravens. They find their superstar edge rusher. Well, superstar might be a little bit of a stretch. And they don't have to give up any picks for him. It ends up being Trey Hendrickson. They get maybe a little bit of cold feet with the Max Crosby deal. They find something wrong with their knee, and they're like, what if we just got someone healthier for less money, and we don't have to give up 2 first-round picks to do it? I think the Ravens are a huge winner in free agency because of this.
Yeah, I would think that they got to be winners here. The whole situation still is just so weird. Like, the Raiders definitely were the ones to get screwed over here, and yet they get to keep the awesome player in Max Crosby. But, yeah, the fact that they were just able to flip it around. If they didn't replace Crosby, then I would have called them a loser because they let Tyler Linderbaum walk. They let a bunch of their guys walk so they could pay the Crosby incoming contract. But they were able to replace him with easily the next best available guy. Not as good as Crosby, but it's worth keeping the 2 first-round picks. So, yeah, I would agree with you. As
we've stated, I don't think there's any player in the NFL other than like 3 quarterbacks that I would trade 2 first-round picks for. It's just not worth it. It doesn't work out.
Yeah.
On the flip side of things, the Vegas Raiders, I really like them going into the season. They've got to be a little disappointed that they didn't get 2 firsts. And then the fact that it got rejected, there's no way they're getting 2 firsts for Crosby at this point.
No.
And if that's the case, why trade him at all? I like them going into the year. I think if Mendoza can hit the ground running, that they're going to be a kind of a frisky team with that offense. But you had 2 first-round picks. You had 3 first-round picks, and all of a sudden it was looking real good for you. You were going to have 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years, and now you don't have that.
They could be worse losers, though. The worst-case situation, which easily could have happened, was Crosby comes back to the Raiders, and he's like, I'm not playing for you guys.
Yeah,
you traded me away. Trade me again. I'm not playing for you. And then obviously no one's going to give up as good a value because why the heck did the Ravens decline this trade? Because of the physical stuff. And worst case scenario, you have to end up cutting Max Crosby because no one will trade for him. That's like what could have made them the biggest losers ever. And that didn't happen. So like,
it would have been on brand for Vegas though.
Imagine how funny this could be though if like they're good now. Like Crosby comes back and then they're just all out of nowhere. Yeah, they accidentally spent a little bit more money than they planned to going into this offseason and they didn't get 2 extra first round picks, but it works out for them. That'd be kind of funny.
A winner has to be the interior offensive lineman. Linderbaum, $27 million annually, resets the market. And then all of a sudden you've got Zion Johnson making $17 million, David Edwards $15 million, Elijah Vera Tucker got $14 million. This is all annual average for the Patriots.
Yeah, Cade Mays just setting the sneakiest deal ever.
It was such a good signing. The more and more we look at the prices of all these other guys, this is insane to me. What the center market has become is crazy. Replacing, you basically have to draft a Frank Ragnow. And then
draft your center for 10 years.
And then realize that at some point you're going to have to pay him a boatload of money because you're not getting them in free agency, especially if you have a quarterback under contract. It's just not happening.
Unless you get Cade Mays.
Unless you get Cade Mays. Another winner I have, how about all the quarterbacks that just kind of got disposed of? Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, maybe just those 2 guys. They're both kind of, they get second opportunities. And, the last 5-6 years, second opportunities, third opportunities, they've been in favor of the quarterbacks.
Yeah, and you get to choose your location, too. I think that's the best part about this is, like, it's not like both of those guys were traded. Both of them were cut. They got to pick where they wanted to go. And there was a good amount of options, too. Like, both of them ended up in the 2 best available situations, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Of course, Minnesota was the one that we had been circling for months, and Atlanta was honestly the other one, too. It's just because 2 is not as good. Maybe we're not as excited about it as we would have been if Kyler went there.
Well, it was weird, too, because it felt like Atlanta never showed any interest in Kyler Murray, right? It felt like they, the whole time, were just like behind the scenes.
He throws with his right hand.
Yeah, no, we're good. We'll roll the dice with Tua.
But yeah, I think those guys are winners because still, like, I will continuously say, Kyler Murray does not fit into the group of, like, cut quarterback. He is not on that bad of a tier of QB. So the fact that he got to choose where he wanted to go and there was a situation as good as Minnesota available for him, major winner.
You know who else is a major winner? Drake May. Romeo Dobbs heads over there. Stephon Diggs he got real
The guy
quiet.
with the big helmet?
The guy with the big helmet. The guy with the Guardian cap. I thought Diggs got pretty quiet towards the end of the season in the playoffs. They get Romeo Dobbs, who in theory is an upgrade. He's a deep shot guy. You know what Drake May loves doing? Taking deep shots. They bring in Elijah Vera Tucker as well to protect Drake May. They bolster up the offensive line. I think Drake May is in a pretty good situation, even though the Patriots are kind of due for some regression.
Right. That's why I think, like, Drake May is a winner because he got Romeo Dobbs.
And Elijah Vera Tucker.
Sure, I guess. But, like, this is a team that just clear. I mean, he still has Will Campbell as his left tackle. Like,
who should be better. It felt like he was playing through injury. He was good for most of his rookie season until the end. Okay, fine. I have a different quarterback for you who's a bigger winner.
Joe Burrow?
No, he's a big loser, actually.
Man, he's been hanging out with all these baddies, though.
I know. He really likes the offseason.
Yeah, off-season winner.
Off-season
For sure.
winner. And then he goes back to, it's like, you know how when you go on a long vacation and you come back to work, it's like, that's Joe Burrow when he shows up to Cincinnati. He's like,
And then he's like, okay, well, at
great.
least, like, where's Trey at? You know, like, let me at least hang out with Trey.
No, he's actually
no.
on your division rival.
No, yeah, you're going to play him twice this year. He's going to sack you like 6 times. What? Oh, yeah.
No, the biggest winning quarterback is obviously Malik Willis, who, after 4 starts in Green Bay, ends up with a $30 million contract. Just
Sure, he's
insane.
yes, he is a winner from, like, totally. Great for him for getting the money. He also went to Miami, and then they immediately traded his only good weapon in
he's gonna
Jalen
suck.
Waddle. Like, they're going to be so bad. So, like, he is a winner because it's, like, a good for him. He got paid. Like, that's awesome kind of thing. But, like, they're going to be terrible. I mean, they are going to blow. They traded away Jalen Waddle the second he showed up.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of sucks for him.
Yeah, I think they're the worst team in the league going into the season. I don't know who I'd have as a worst team.
I have a
than
hot
them.
take. Not really a hot take. Most people actually probably agree with
Could
this.
be Arizona, I guess. But go ahead.
No way Malik Willis is Miami's starting quarterback 2 years from now.
I mean, he signed a 3-year contract. That makes sense.
Like, he's going to be their quarterback for 2 years, and then he's done.
yeah, that makes sense.
They'll move on. But it's just like, what was the point? That's my.
Well, they
I
needed
guess,
someone to play quarterback, and I don't think they wanted to do it with Quinn Ewers.
Sure,
I don't think you can do that to your fans.
but you can trade away one of your only good players.
They're rebuilding.
Is Tyreek Hill still technically a Dolphin, or is he just a free agent?
I think he's been cut or waived,
Yeah.
so he can sign wherever. But he's also still dealing with that.
What's going to
insane
go on with
injury.
him? Is he just going to retire?
I think he ends up on someone mid-season because he's not playing at the beginning of the year with
Goes
that
the AB route.
nasty leg injury. But I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up on a playoff roster. Loser.
Browns could sign him.
That would make sense. Chiefs would sign him.
Chiefs and
They
Browns.
love the
yeah.
bad guys.
They love those guys.
J.J. McCarthy has to be a loser, right? I mean, we've basically,
He could be the biggest loser.
there's just 0% chance unless Kyler gets hurt, which Kyler hasn't necessarily been extremely durable through his career.
Sure.
J.J. McCarthy's just like, 10-1 to be the week 1 starter? I don't think they're not going to
There's
cut
no
him or anything
chance.
like that. They're not going to give
I
up
could
on
see them
him, but
exploring them via trade. They signed Carson Wentz yesterday, which was kind of like so now JJ's the third string. Because you're not bringing in Carson Wentz to be the emergency quarterback.
Carson Wentz was there last year, no?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I think they're bringing him back to be like the backup. I truly do, to be the veteran guy. Like, so.
Remember he was playing through a shoulder injury, and they were just like, you know what, we still don't
Still
really want
play.
J.J. McCarthy
Yeah,
to play,
yeah.
so keep
Oh, you have
keep
a torn
rolling out there.
labrum? Yeah, you're playing still, like. That's the part about the J.J. McCarthy stuff. It's
Stupid Vikings.
It's not even the fact that, like, he is getting benched and that's why he's a loser. It's the fact that, like, clearly the people in charge do not believe in him.
At all.
That's the part that I think would hurt the most. It's, you could get benched. They don't believe in this guy at all. He's played 12 games in his career, and they're already just like, can we get somebody else? Like, this guy stinks. Max Brosmer, they played over him for a little bit last year. Like, they clearly don't love him. I don't think they ever did either, which is the weird
Well,
part.
they definitely loved him at one point.
Did
and then
they?
He got into
I think they loved him the second they drafted him, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what that's kind of what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
think once he got in the building and they watched him throw around a little bit, they might have realized pretty quickly, oh man.
Because remember when he was ruled out for the year, and then we got all those weird reports during the season that were like, yeah, McCarthy, like, really isn't, like, out for the year. Like, it's not one of those injuries where he like is totally injured and can't play. Like, he could be healthy.
I remember the reports that were like, no, it actually is a good thing for him that he's not playing.
Yeah,
this
remember
year.
he
It's
meets
like, wait,
weekly.
what?
He meets weekly with Kevin O'Connell. Like, they have a weekly meeting about talking about playing quarterback.
Yeah, that didn't help him.
Oh, okay.
At all.
Yeah, I mean, the coach and the quarterback of the future they talk. Oh, breaking
That's
news.
good. That's really good. 989-837-6125. Around the League, as always, is brought to you by our friends over at Aird Insurance. They understand not everyone's insurance needs are the same. They want to work personally with you to create something best suited for your needs. Whether it's life, home, auto, physical insurance, it's all available with the Aird Insurance Group with Farm Bureau Insurance.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building. on 100.9 The Mid.
We're going to talk to Stephen Goff from the Lansing Sports Network in a little bit at 11 o'clock to recap this Michigan State victory and maybe preview that Louisville matchup a little bit as well. But as of right now, do we think the Pistons can survive without Cade Cunningham? Because you look at the schedule, and there are some tough games that the Pistons still have remaining. They've got to play Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves twice. They've got to play OKC another time. And then they play a lot of the Eastern Conference playoff teams. Not a lot of gimmies. And without Cade Cunningham, I'd argue maybe there's no gimmies. But then I'd argue that there's so many teams that are just intentionally trying to lose this time of year that there are actually 3 gimmies on the calendar. But besides that, there's 11 games that, I mean, if they went 500, that'd feel like a win without Cade Cunningham. And I'd throw 4 of those completely away between the Lakers, the Timberwolves twice, and OKC. They don't have a shot of winning those games without Cade. So 14 games left. Let's say 4 of them are going to be wins. 3 of them are going to be wins. 4 of them are going to be losses. That leaves, what, 7 games after that? Can they win 3 or 4 of those? Did I do that math right? I think I did. Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't a math major.
Yeah, no, you lost me. All I'll say is it's easy when they have these games, the last 2 against Washington, to like have the thoughts of they're good enough to still win enough games. But like you said, with that schedule coming up, I definitely underrated the schedule. Maybe I was just kind of taking into consideration that they have already played 2 without Cade now technically, and both of them came against the worst team in the league. George Blaha last night on the broadcast, did you hear that clip of him?
Hilarious.
Man, I love George. God, he just loves going at the teams that suck, man.
If the Wizard, one of the Wizards guys was laughing on the bench. What'd he say? I'd be laughing too if I never won games.
Big laugh over there on the Wizards bench. I'd be laughing too if I lost that many games. And Special K, K's just like, George. Like, he even like tried to stop him. Like,
George is so old, he's at the point where he gives zero you-know-whats. And just will say whatever he wants.
It's awesome. Like, I love that. That's what makes it so entertaining still.
The best George clip of the season was, George, you going to watch the in-season tournament championship this Saturday? Nope. All right.
Okay, we'll move on. Yeah,
could not be more bothered
like,
by it.
Nope. Someone needs to put together a compilation of funniest Blaha moments just from this season because there are so many of him just goofing off.
I like when
trashing the bad teams.
Yeah, I like when the other team gets a little mad at Cade or Durant, and he's just like, "Oh, screw these guys."
Yeah. No, he takes everything personal the second that not even that when they get mad at another player. If anybody complains, if a single other player on the other team complains, he goes, well, what's he complaining for? He's 3 of 12. He should be mad at himself because he can't make a shot. Like,
and no one's ever going to say anything to him. No, he's definitely
so
the longest tenured guy in the league for
like
the TV guys. It's so good.
That's how I feel. A lot of the guys that do – I know this is going off in a bit of a tangent, but
that's fine.
A lot of the guys that do the games locally for a team – are also doing national games. So, like, they're kind of trained to not have the biased mindset. Think about George Blaha, man.
30 years,
He's been calling Detroit Pistons basketball and Michigan State football for an insane amount of time. Like,
over a quarter century.
He is 100% biased. Like, that's how it should be. I like that the local broadcast is an extremely biased broadcast because it taps in with the fan a little bit extra.
I love when Stu will just like totally get under someone's skin and like kind of start something and then double tease will happen and he'll be like, Stu didn't even do anything. This other guy's being a punk.
Well, Isaiah Stewart didn't even touch him.
I didn't know this other guy was so soft.
Nick Claxton is the one that got he's the one that pushed him first. It's like as they're showing an instant replay of Stu just clearly
just like
starting
an
it.
elbow.
Oh, it's so good.
Nothing, I take it back. Nothing beats the clip of the Pistons on George Blaha night or whatever, trying to get him to do the 1, 2, 3 breakdown, and he has no like concept of what a breakdown looks like, even though he's been covering basketball
like,
for 40 years.
Break it down for us, George.
He's like 3, breakdown. It's like, what?
All right, here we go.
1, 2, 3. And then Cade's like, no, we got to do it again. George, say Pistons on 3. And he was like, Pistons 3. It's like, what? You have been covering sports for 40 years, man. How do you not know how a breakdown works?
He's also like 100 years old too, which has to come into play.
That was actually the best George aha moment ever.
So good.
I love this guy. But yeah, I think the Pistons should be able to survive.
Well, yeah, getting it back to because he was trashing on the Wizards or whatever. Like, it's easy to, when they're playing against those bad teams, to say, well, yeah, they'll be fine. Like, they'll survive. They'll get the 1 seed still. I don't really want to answer the question, and it's not like to cop out on your question, but like, they easily could just look pretty bad even tonight against Golden State, and they're not even a good team.
No, they don't have Steph.
And I'm just like, ugh. Like, I'm actually worried. Like, I think I could pretty easily be overreaction, like, oh, man, I'm super worried.
Look,
because
I'm
when they have this
real.
schedule coming up, it's super scary.
I'm going to keep it real. I think they're going to suck without Cade.
He's keeping it real.
Luckily, they have a 4-game lead, so Boston basically has to like be amazing for these next 13, 14 games. I don't know exactly how many are left for them. And the Pistons just have to like win a few extra games. I mean, we rode in the 4 losses. We rode in the 3 wins. Win a few more games besides that, and you should be fine. But there's a chance the Pistons are limping into the playoffs, crawling
with
even.
Cade not having a chance to gear up either. That's the part that makes me the most nervous. Is like the regular season is whatever. Even if they fall to the 2 seed, like yeah, it stinks. There's still going to be a home court advantage, like for most of the playoffs.
I would love him to have 2 games in the regular season. Just get him in there twice before playoff time rolls around.
And I don't want it to be like him playing 20 minutes. I want him to be ready to go.
Yeah.
He's going to be playing 40-plus minutes a night in the playoffs, no matter what, collapse long or not.
And unfortunately, I think, you look at their schedule and who they like close their season with. Maybe there's a chance that
last
Charlotte
couple
game
games,
ends up
there's a
being
few,
meaningful.
yeah, right.
But like there is a real opportunity as well that even if Cade does return in that last game, it's just a meaningless game where there's not going to be a playoff level atmosphere in any of these games other than maybe Charlotte of the games that Cade could return in.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Maybe Orlando, but they've played Orlando so many times at this point that I don't really think there's anything there anymore. It's concerning to say the least because I don't know if I'd pick the Pistons to win a playoff series. Let's say worst case scenario and Cade's out for closer to 6 weeks. There's not a team I would pick the Pistons to beat in a playoff series if Cade's not in.
Not even like Orlando? Not anybody? Like their first round matchup?
Dennis Jenkins would be their starting point guard. What are we like? No, I'm sorry, no.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's tough to say that, but it does show you the value that Cade has and how good he's been. Even though like the pure numbers aren't insane. I think you and I both bet him preseason to average 28 a game, and he's not going to do that. But I mean, God, man, look at Cade Cunningham's game log and look at the last 5 games. It's like 10 assists, 13 assists, 12 assists, 14 assists. Every game, it's just this guy's diming up the entire league. He was going to lead the league in assists, and now that's probably not going to happen either because he's not going to play for the next few weeks.
Right.
Very unfortunate timing on the Cade Cunningham collapsed lung, but a little bit more optimism than we necessarily realized when we heard that news that he would be back before the playoffs.
It just also sucks that it happened on the first day of March Madness.
Yeah.
Like what a buzzkill.
They have a lot of national TV games coming up too. Did you realize that? And they're not going to have Cade for a lot of they're supposed to play Atlanta on ESPN.
Can
they're
they
supposed
flex
to play
some of these off, man?
These all would have been great games if Cade was healthy.
Well, but isn't the Bucks game one of them too?
The Bucks game is ESPN, but I was mostly thinking Minnesota. Both of those are prime time against OKC. They're on prime time. Atlanta's won 11 in a row. That's supposed to be on prime time next Wednesday. It still will be. They got one against Philadelphia on NBA TV, and I doubt Cade's playing in any of those games. He definitely is not.
And just a big FU to Adam Silver once again, because the Pistons are playing on Thursday, Friday in March Madness. You can give them one. You can give them one of the days, man. Both days? Are you serious?
Is that are you more mad about that, or you feel bad for them that they have to play on it? And
I feel bad for everybody involved. They want to watch, you know. I mean, I guess Cade's squad isn't in the game.
Nah, are any of their squads in the game?
I mean, there has to be. Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson,
Duncan, the Michigan guys.
Yeah, the Michigan guys are just clearly in it.
Yeah.
But no beef stew with Washington, no Jalen Duren with Memphis.
Is Penny Hardaway still the coach there?
He is, and he's returning next season.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I know, pretty crazy.
All right, 989-837-6125. We're gonna talk to Stephen Goff, the Lansing Sports Network.
Marcus Sasser, Houston, by the way.
Oh yeah, duh. That one was too obvious.
They're in it. Dennis Jenkins, St. John's, baby.
Yeah, that was a stupid statement by me. All right, we'll talk to Stephen Goff from the Lansing Sports Network when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, and we are live here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9.
This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, do we believe that Michigan State can actually push to make Final Four? Because we know Michigan can. That's obviously, they're a 1 seed. They should be able to make a Final Four. But you look at that region that Michigan State is in, between Kansas, between St. John's, between Duke themselves. Do we feel like Michigan State is a true potential Final Four team the way that they're playing right now? I would say yes. Yesterday really impressed me. And I know it was against North Dakota State, and it's not like we need to feel amazing about that win and do these victory circles. But at the same time, Michigan State has historically struggled in the first round, not from a win-loss standpoint, pretty good record in that department, but just like letting their opponents linger around. And Kyle, you mentioned the PTSD from Middle Tennessee State. Like, I don't think anyone was expecting that yesterday by any stretch of the imagination. But I was expecting, like, yeah, maybe North Dakota will stick around, hit some threes. Michigan State's offense, lack of it, will keep them in it. And that wasn't what happened. They threw knockout punch to North Dakota State right away, and North Dakota State really never got up.
Yeah, I think that's what makes you most excited just about this MSU team, and comparing it to last year's team as well, in an extremely chalky bracket. State gets to the Elite Eight last season, and clearly they weren't as equipped to beat the top-tier elite teams that last season had. And I think you could make the same argument for this season. I just think there's more of them. And that's what makes, I think, their chance this year even better, is there are more top-tier teams. And State has had a few opportunities against those. When we talk about the top-tier teams, I think Michigan, obviously, of course, is in that. Duke, they've played both of those teams. All of your 1 seeds, Arizona, you can maybe toss in the Iowa States and the Houstons if you want to do that as well. MSU's clearly on the next tier down, but I also do believe that if you're comparing it to last year's team, MSU has just found a way to somehow get even more dominant inside this year than last year. I think their roster is probably worse. Like they don't have the star players, but the development of the guys that are still here from last year's team, they're all clearly better. And we have these conversations about Cohen Carr all the time. I think Cohen was awesome yesterday, and I think
I told you this before the game though. That guy should just be able to dunk 6 times.
I saw the funniest tweet ever. That was the people of North Dakota are about to learn what a Cohen Carr is today. They've never seen anything like that, and
they're gonna learn what a big giant Cooper is too.
Exactly, and so the guys that have returned from last year's team have clearly developed to a point where you feel confident about them at least going on a pretty good run. Now, does that pretty good run turn into an elite run, into a Final Four run? That's where the question marks come up, because they're going to need a guy who's been playing more. A guy like Trey Fort is going to have a game. A guy like Kerr Tang is going to have a game.
Where he's just 3 for 4 from behind the arc.
Drills 4-5 threes, just has some sort of big spurt.
I'll take 3 threes from any of those guys.
I mean, Tang has had a few 4 or 5 point 3-point games this season. He's certainly capable of doing it. He takes the most of anybody on the team. So they're going to need a couple of, one of those two guys has to have a big game for them to go on a real run, because you don't have Divine Ugachukwu, who, was your starting 2 for the longest time. Jordan Scott has filled in that spot. I think Scott's a phenomenal defender. There's a lot of times, though, where he's out there on the floor, and it's he's a freshman that didn't get a lot of playing time at the beginning of the year. It's pretty obvious, I still, really enjoy watching him play, but they don't have a lot of depth, of course. They have a really good big 3. And I don't think Cohen Carr is in that big 3. I think it really is Fears, Kohler, and Cooper. And Cohen Carr has the games where it's there's Cohen Carr, boom. And then everybody else is a major question mark. And so it just depends on what you get from those question marks.
I think it's a 4. It's a 4.
It probably is a 4. With Fears and Kohler elevating over the other two. Fears by himself probably.
I don't know if Kohler I'd still have is way better than Cooper.
Yeah, I mean Kohler's just ability to stretch it. Kohler's ability to stretch it is so nice.
But Cooper's ability to stretch it vertically with the lob threat is I never expected this in a million years. I think those guys are a lot closer than.
Yeah, you're probably right, because Cooper's
thought.
defense is it really, his rim protection has become awesome.
Yeah, and the rolling to the rim stuff, that's super valuable for Fears. I think just as valuable as Kohler stretching it from the outside. The funny thing about Kohler is we used to think hey, you need to get him the ball on the inside as much as possible. But if you throw double teams at him, which it was kind of easy to because you didn't have a ton of shooters around him with Carr and Cooper, that was kind of the detriment of this team. The problem was he wasn't a good passer. I thought he's lately been such a good passer out of those double teams when they go to send help. He's finding open guys across the court and throwing these skip passes and finding guys cutting to the lane. When they do send it, it feels of course, to no surprise, this guy's way better than he was at the beginning of the season, and Michigan State in general is just playing their best ball right now. I was really impressed with Kohler yesterday, and he wasn't even the best player on the team. It was clearly Cooper.
Yeah, and just to go into yesterday's game without I went into it without any thought that they were going to get upset, and that's rare. I'm always the pessimistic guy in March Madness because
how can you not be?
You have a history, and it's just everybody should go into that way feeling that way because you don't want to get let down. And I felt really confident about State's ability yesterday. Of course, it was easy when you just simply look at North Dakota State's roster and look at their competition. No offense to them, they made the NCAA tournament. That's awesome. They're just really small. They're a small team that don't have a lot of big physical guys, and that's kind of State's whole game. And I think MSU they've maybe elevated to a point where I trust them to out-physical a lot of teams, and that's going to be how they're going to win games. Somebody said this in the halftime show yesterday. They just 2 you to death. They just take good 2s. Yeah, they don't shoot a lot of 3s, and they have some times where they make a good amount of them. And Fears hit one yesterday. Cohen Carr hit one. Kohler, of course, knocked down a few. But, like,
doesn't it feel like if they hit 10, 12 threes, like, they're just going to win?
Yeah, exactly. And they can win a game where they shoot 4 of 20 from 3, too. Like, that, they have the ability to do that just because of how much they go to the twos. So that's how they're going to advance in this tournament.
Stephen Goff with us from the Lansing Sports Network, fresh off of a really dominating win against North Dakota State. Kyle and I were just talking. Michigan State, typically in the past, they're a team that, for the most part, not that they've had a ton of losses in that first round of the tournament under Tom Izzo. They're 22-5, especially when there's these high seeds. There was that one time, but we're not going to talk about that. But typically they let teams linger around, and it makes for a little bit of a nervous Nelly game for the fans. That wasn't what happened yesterday. Dominated them right from the jump, threw knockout punch, and never looked back. That was a really good sign, I thought, for Michigan State's first game.
Oh, yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I thought so, too. As a Michigan State fan, especially, it's hard to stay neutral when you're in the media because, when you grow up green and white, you expect certain things. And over the past 28 years, we expect wins and actually 30-plus years. But the last part of the season here in East Lansing, there's been several times when you just wonder if this team sort of let off the gas at the end, like you said, to let teams stay in and things of that nature. It's been a little scary at times for Spartan fans, but I think yesterday was a well-needed dominating win to show that this team can fire on all cylinders when necessary, that Jeremy Fears Jr., for example, can lead with his play and his assists and keep everybody else in the game while only scoring 7 points. We didn't need him to score points yesterday, but what a great way to allow somebody like Cam Ward to get some minutes, 13 minutes, and takes advantage of it with 12 points and just looked dominating. That kid is going to be lights out as he gets older and goes through the program. But, Cohen Carr stepped up and of course, Coop with a huge game. So again, you saw all facets of Michigan State's game firing on all cylinders.
I am kind of dumbfounded, admittedly, on what Carson Cooper has become. Because if you would have told me 3 years ago he was going to be like not all NBA good or not all conference good, but like borderline, and have these type of games where it's like, hey, here's 20 and 10, 75% from the field. First player to do that for Michigan State since Magic Johnson, pretty good company to be in. I wouldn't have believed you if you told me that 3 years ago. I'm amazed as to his development, but I guess it shouldn't surprise me that much because this has always been Izzo's thing. If guys stick around, they find ways to, hang banners and get a lot better in 4 years.
You took the words right out of my mouth. If given the opportunity, Coach Izzo has the ability to mold and bend and shape these guys from day one on campus till they leave 4 years later. Unfortunately, that's not the way of the world anymore for the most part. But on the other hand, look at the development of people who have been here from their freshman year. Even Cohen Carr, who came in with all the hype as this dunking machine, all the social media things. He's jumping over buses to dunk, and by God, he's the best dunker in the entire country, right? One of the most athletic players we've seen. But he's also worked hard to develop other facets of his game under coach's tutelage. So, I mean, you've got Cohen Carr has turned into a defensive machine. Like he's diving for balls with 3 minutes left in the game last night, which made me a little nervous. I was like, take it easy there, buddy. But you're right on Cooper as well. Coop's a great example. Here's a guy who, was an all-state soccer player in Jackson. He didn't care about basketball. His family didn't grow up with ESPN and things like that. He's got a very interesting story. But he has allowed coach to help him develop. And, I think his hands are still a little sus under the hoop. Sus, by the way, means suspect. It's a term that the teenagers use. Okay. I know this because I have a 15-year-old, but but he's gotten kind of an edge, like a chip on his shoulder almost, kind of like he started to develop a little bit of a beard, little thing going on. It's almost like he's like the Bizarro world Carson Cooper, like look out, evil intentions. But I love that for him and his trajectory, Jackson Kohler's trajectory, Jeremy Fears' trajectory, Cohen Carr's, all of it is going up. It's great to watch unfold over the course of the last few years. And the sky's the limit for a couple of those guys. But these seniors going out have really worked hard to get where they are, especially Coop and Kohler.
Ben and I have been talking about like what it's going to take for State to go on a real deep run in this tournament. Who do you think like the X factor player is going to be? Where like we threw out the example, it feels like Trey Fort like has to have a game. A guy who's been getting a lot more run later in the season here for MSU to go on a true deep run. Who do you feel like that real X factor player is?
Oh, I would agree with you that we need some shooting guards to step up and start making shots, but that's been the case all season long. I do like the idea of Trey Fort being that guy. I think he deserves that chance to have a run. Again, an older guy who's transferred in. I also want to see the youth lead the way. I'd love to see Jordan Scott become a key player to go to. I mean, that guy has no fear whatsoever. He's got a great pedigree with both of his parents being professional athletes, and he comes in and he's got that work ethic and he's got that no fear attitude. Like, I'm a freshman, but I don't care. I'm a ball player here, and I'm ready to be a part of this team. So I think those two guys are definitely going to be contributing factors, or should be, because you can't expect Kohler and Coop and Fears to make all the shots every game. But you know what? Like I alluded to, though, Cohen Carr's defense is going to be a big factor. I think people sleep on that. I don't think people realize it, and they defend him underneath, and they don't want him to dunk, and I get that. But watch out for his defense, because he's been a defensive stalwart for them for a while. But you know what? They've got to be able to dig a little bit deeper into that bench. And that's going to be huge as they go down, because I don't know if you guys saw the game yesterday. I felt so bad for that team that took Duke to the end.
Sienna.
They didn't play anybody else besides their starting five till like 2 minutes left in the game. Unbelievable. Michigan State can't afford to do that. They've got to be able to rotate players in. I have concerns at the point guard. I'm not going to hold back. I think Denim Wojcik works hard, but I get real nervous when he's in the game and Jeremy's out.
He scored yesterday, Steven. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
He scored twice.
Because I told Kyle this yesterday. Like, I really think they didn't need to do it yesterday. I think when like they get themselves in a battle, Fears needs to play all 40 minutes. And can you do that 2 games in a row in the same weekend? Probably not. But this is survive in advance. And if that's the battle that Michigan State finds themselves in at any point, I don't think he can come out.
No, and you know what? I have to give kudos to Coach Izzo, which I can do from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. I mean, the guy's the greatest to ever do it, in my opinion. But he maintains a calm. Well, let's be honest. On the sidelines, he's all over the place. But
wait, calm and Tom Izzo in the same sentence?
I know, right? But he has an ability to not panic, and I think that's something that you develop over many, many years of coaching and stuff. But it always seems to get the team where they need to be, especially in March. It's no joke. I mean, people talk about it. January, February, Izzo. I mean, it's the way it is for a reason. His influence and his ability to call this game and to put the pieces in play cannot be stated enough. I mean, and it's great to watch and it's fun to see. And that's going to be a big X factor too, is how he plays these guys. And if he feels the need to play Jeremy for 40 minutes, so be it. Jeremy's young enough. He can do that.
Yeah.
All of us on this call, maybe not. I don't, my cardio is not what it used to be, but
I think I could go like
was.
36, 37 minutes, but once you get past that,
mine's 36, 37 seconds probably at the top. But you know what? He's got the horses to do it. And I'll tell you, this is the time for them to shine.
Stephen Goff, Lansing Sports Network. Last thing for you. So I'm watching this Michigan State game yesterday, and Louisville plays before them. Louisville's without their best player right now, Mikhail Brown. I don't know if you got a chance to see them in action yesterday, but initial thoughts on that matchup that I think is kind of favorable for Michigan State with Louisville without their best player.
I agree. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it. At this time in the tournament, this is when injuries affect teams adversely, and it is what it is. You got to take it on the chin, Or when an upstart team like Siena comes in, nobody expects them to win, and they give Duke all they can handle. That's the time of year when you see what teams are made out of. And you know what? I'm not going to cry about an opposing player being down. I'll take all the advantages we can get at this point to move forward. And if Michigan State continues to play as well-rounded as they did yesterday, I see no reason why they can't make a Final Four and maybe even further. What I'm really worried about is the number of people, pundits and specialists or experts that are picking Michigan State to get to the finals. I don't want that right now. I want those people to, hey, stay away with your predictions. I don't want to jinx us, but I do like what I'm seeing on the court, at least as of yesterday, and it's a big step up from how they ended the season.
Well, if they keep playing like they did yesterday, they're not going to be able to stay under the radar for too much longer. Stephen Goff, Lansing Sports Network. Appreciate you joining us. Enjoy the tournament.
Thanks, fellas. Thanks. You too. See you guys.
There he goes. All right, one more time. You guys can listen to him over on the Lansing Sports Network during Michigan State games. Kyle and I are going to take a quick break. We will be right back, see how everybody's bracket is doing after one day, heading into day 2 of March Madness. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mid, 11 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by our friends over at Yeiter Insurance. Life happens fast, and at Yeiter Insurance Group, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yeiter is the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people you can actually talk to. It's Yeiter Insurance Group. We'll be there when you need us since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky. Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
You know, I made one bracket this year. I was very adamant. Make one bracket, just ride with it, stand on business, and then I have the MIT bracket as well. The MIT bracket's doing slightly better than my bracket. The one that we made yesterday with me, Kyle, John, and Sarah. That one's actually doing pretty good, 85th percentile. Although, again, like, I need to put this out there. If you're in last place in your pool, do not fear yet. No, fret not. This is not an important day in terms of winning your bracket.
Right? Even today's really not.
It's not. As long as you have your elite 8 teams alive, you're fine, man.
Yeah.
You're good. I mean, don't worry about it.
That's the thing that people forget about in a bracket pool, like when you're actually in a group for it. You have to pick the winner to win.
Essentially,
it's all about picking the winner, unless you have all 4 of your final 4 that make it or something like that.
And then 2 of those right
like
as
your,
well.
Your winner loses in the national championship game. Like, that could happen too. But, like, you basically have to pick the winner of the tournament to win your bracket. So, like,
yeah, pretty much.
These days don't matter as much. The second your national champion is out, you're done. You're cooked. It's over. Like, it's that simple. And so, yeah, that's the part about that I have to remember, because my bracket is just off to the most horrendous start ever. I picked a good amount of upsets. Surely none of them were VCU, High Point, or Texas A&M. So
I was happy to have High Point. It's always good when you have the right upset.
No.
But I also had Penn yesterday, and I also have Penn in my Sweet 16, so that didn't work out at all.
I had Troy in the Sweet 16, so as basically the second game that happened, the first non-upset, that really hurt.
They were the worst team that played yesterday, I think. They were awful.
Yeah, I didn't really catch much of Kennesaw State. I saw they hung around with Gonzaga. I did not catch most of that game. But yeah, like, Troy was, oh my God, Troy was so bad. And it sounds like Troy's coach is going to get hired by Georgia Tech too this morning. That news comes out.
You get hired? You should be fired after last night.
Right, he should be fired for taking a Sun Belt team to the tournament 2 years in a row. Yeah,
I mean, they were awful. Yeah.
I want you to stamp your pick today.
For what?
What's the biggest? You said like, oh, I might be seeing some upsets today earlier on the show, and people in the YouTube chat were like, what's he talking about?
See, that's a good tease right there.
Right?
That's a professional.
What's the upset you like the most today? This doesn't have to be your game of the day either. It's just like, what do you think is the most likely upset, or which one do you like?
First of all, am I crazy that it's not an 8-9 matchup to kick things off? Isn't it always an 8-9 matchup?
That's how it is on day one,
off?
Typically.
Today's Santa Clara versus Kentucky. Upset written all over it. Kentucky's only 3.5-point favorites. I pray that they lose.
But in the mid bracket, we have them in the Sweet 16. I'm also praying they lose.
The biggest upset, does Akron count? Can I say Akron?
Of course, why would they not?
Because it's only a 7.5-point spread. It's a 12-5.
Wow, it's gone down. It was like this was, I think, a 10-point spread, like initially when all these lines opened up.
Really? Yeah, Akron's only 7-point dogs in this one, 7.5.
Wait, you don't like the Sharks of LIU?
No,
30.5-point underdogs.
What was it? Was that like do they do baby
That's
shark?
what they do. That's like their thing. You know, they during free throws and stuff they do that.
Interesting.
Yeah. I got one for you.
I know what you're going to say already.
Even though you didn't even make your pick, and I asked you to make your pick, and I just did. I just cut you off, but
Akron.
Oh, okay.
I know what you're going to pick.
What do you think I'm going to pick?
Hofstra.
Oh, how'd you know?
I know you too well.
I thought you thought I was going to say Miami. No. Because that's not even an upset. Miami's the better team. Hofstra. Hofstra is my pick. Hofstra beats Alabama today. Way too much bad juju with Alabama, which of course means that they will win because the March Madness makes no sense. But
kind of the whole point.
Give me Hofstra all day.
Yeah, I like that one. Can I go Northern Illinois or Northern Iowa over St. John's too? Is that even an upset though? You imagine 3. What if just all the 12 seeds win? All of them.
Well, yesterday one of them lost.
Okay, 3 of the 4.
McNeese. By the way, we stamped that one.
Yeah, good job on us.
We just called that one out. McNeese ain't winning 2 years in a row. It ain't happening.
Yeah, we sniffed that one out.
Yeah, that one was easy.
The Aura guy can only take him so far.
Exactly, man. You can't have Aura 2 years in a row. It's just.
And also, he lost Aura. I'm going to be honest. He had so much when he was an unknown. Like, wait, who's this manager that knows all the lyrics of this
He had
Meek Mill
great
song?
Aura last year. Like, I'm not denying that.
And then it became about him, and he lost the Aura because he was too much of the star.
Like, he was the star of the team.
Yeah. Yeah,
which makes no sense.
He lost all his aura.
What's the one upset today where no way that happens? Like, could Cal Baptist beat Kansas today? Like, no way, right? They got that little 5'10" guard that kind of goes crazy.
I think Howard was the smallest team in the tournament, and Cal Baptist was the second smallest. I think I saw.
I could see it.
The one that's no way that like kind of could happen is UConn goes down to Furman. That's the one where it's like,
I mean, they're only 20.5-point favorite. I know that sounds wild to say that, but you look at all the other 116 and 215 matchups, they're all 25+ point spreads. This one's only at 20.
That's the one that
sketch.
would have to be like, that would be crazy, but like not insane. Like an Arizona's just not going to lose. There's no way. I don't think Purdue's going to lose at all. Florida, same thing.
35.5-point favorites for Florida over Prairie View A&M.
UConn, it's like, you never know. 10 o'clock,
Kind of
sun goes down, crazy stuff starts to happen.
Let us know in the YouTube chat who you like. Make your pick. Make your stamp on your upset pick today. I want to hear what other people got to say.
Isn't it so nice to survive day one of March Madness, your team, and then you just get to enjoy the second day?
I've always liked the team playing on the second day.
Oh, really?
Like the team I'm rooting, like Michigan State. I've always preferred when they play on Friday because
I'm out.
You like Thursday.
Now I like today is stress-free.
Sure, that's fair. I just like to enjoy the opening day of March Madness, to see all the other stuff go down, and then it's like, okay, now I've digested a full day of like, here we go. Now I can lock in for day two. Because if your team loses on day one, you don't enjoy it. You don't enjoy March Madness.
The rest of the weekend is cooked.
Exactly. And then you're just like, man, I didn't even get a single day of enjoyment. So at least you get that when your team plays on Friday.
Shout out to Michigan State yesterday for taking care of business at an essential time when it was dinner time, too. So you could actually like go make some dinner.
Yeah, you really didn't even watch the second half of that game at all.
No. Okay, 989-837-6125. We will hit the news and do our three traditions to close out every show when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mint.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mint. Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, let's see what's going on in the world of sports, or maybe not sports too. Kyle, take it away with the news.
The Mitts Morning Catch.
Hey, I've got some major news for you to start off the mid-morning catch.
What's up?
It's not quite breaking, though.
Okay.
Today's episode 200 of the Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey.
Woo-hoo. Yeah. Give ourselves a round of applause, right?
Sure.
All right, that's it for the news. No, just kidding. That's just a joke. Don't worry, I'm just joking. Okay, yesterday in the March Madness tournament, we talked about him earlier. A.J. DeBonsa had himself a big game for BYU, but they lost to Texas. Asked about his future, because, of course, you know, none of these guys that are top prospects are going to go to the draft. Why would they? He says he's going to take the next couple of weeks to decide on his future, whether he will return to college or go to the NBA.
I think he's going to go to the NBA.
I just wish that these guys would just be straight up. Yeah, man, I can't wait to be in the league. I love my time at BYU, but, like, I'm obviously going to the draft. I'm going to be the first pick in a loaded draft.
Yeah.
Why would I not go?
Yeah, I got to weigh my options here. No, shut up. You're going to the league. I'm out on Jabanza now. No, I'm just kidding.
I've never understood that whole thing. Yesterday, Victor Wembanyama hit a game winner, and it sent the Spurs to the playoffs. Their 6-year playoff drought has been ended. Ben, are you still on the Spurs as the team to come out of the West?
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, I am. They're gonna
Really?
win. They're gonna win the Western Conference. Shea doesn't get to do his nonsense when Wemby's rolling around in the paint. I said this at the very beginning of the year. You and Brad both laughed at me and said they were inexperienced, and I said they have the best player in the league. And you said no, they don't. And I said
you're
they
already
will.
taking a victory lap? They're
Yeah.
not even in the playoffs
I am.
yet.
I am. I think he should win MVP. I think he's the best player in the league, man. He's
So when
incredible.
they lose in round 2, then what?
To
are
the
we-
Lakers?
Then what are we saying here?
What if they lose in round 1 to the Lakers? No,
What if the
they won't
Lakers
play
just
the
win?
Lakers.
Like,
yeah, what if the
I
Lakers?
haven't really been considering that. They
Yeah,
obviously
man, they're
won't,
hot.
but
They're
like,
hot.
get LeBron another ring,
I just don't think they can stop Shea at all. Unfortunately,
or like any player that's any good.
anybody that has quickness, yeah, they're that's not really their thing. But if they
But they're
get
just
into a
gonna
game
be
in the
the
last
3
couple
seed.
minutes, it's just hard to beat Luka in the last 5
I mean,
minutes.
if they get the Lakers Nuggets round 1 matchup, which currently is the 3-6, like,
I don't know, man. I might take the Lakers.
with Jokic.
And the Nuggets have been bad. Is Aaron Gordon going to be healthy? Like, these are all questions that we don't know the answer to.
Those are all good questions too. Even.
Thanks.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
man.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, more basketball news. Let's get to college basketball. Not March Madness, not Division II, not the NIT. Division III basketball. Where do you think I'm going with this, Ben? Well, NYU, their women's basketball team, was on a 91-game win streak but it ended yesterday in the Division III Final Four. I just thought that was really
Someone
interesting.
get that guy a different coaching job. Oh, my God.
It was, yeah, I don't know if it was a guy or a girl.
What, 3 years of, over 3 years? Almost 3 years?
For sure over 3 years. I guess if you're counting the tournament games. I don't know if the season is just as long in D3 or not, a little over 30 games a year. But, yeah, ridiculous stuff. 91-game win streak. It was the second longest win streak in NCAA history, behind, of course, the UConn's 111-game win streak that took place.
We're going to look back and be like, that has to be fake, right? Like, that can't be real.
The 100-plus game win streak?
Yeah, what the hell?
That was unreal. I mean, just so weird. I'm happy that shouldn't happen. So it's nice there's at least a little bit of parity, even though I think UConn is the heavy favorites to win the women's bracket once again. Hey, the NCAA college football has approved the change to targeting suspension in a one-year trial for next season. We talked about this some time ago, but it has been approved. So a targeting penalty will no longer automatically take a player off the field for the following game, regardless of the half that it happens in. Because previously, if you had gotten a targeting penalty in the second half of a game, you were ejected and for the next game as well.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it was always a
that will not happen anymore. It's just going to be for whatever game. You could target someone on the final play of the game, be ejected, you'll still be able to play next time around.
Good.
So.
And then maybe if you have 2 targeting calls throughout the year, they can do something else.
I think there's some more stuff about that in there. Yeah, if you become a multiple-time offender or whatever. But yeah, this feels right. It felt like it was always a little bit too harsh of a penalty beforehand. So I like this rule.
All right.
Speaking of rules, the NFL is to consider the 5-year window for pick trades that the Cleveland Browns are proposing here. So this could be something that the NFL might want to do. If I'm Roger Goodell, I'm saying, like, there's no way they approve this. There's no way.
It's
the owners might want it.
Yeah, because there's dumb
Correct.
teams that will trade picks 5 years in advance. And I'm telling you, man, if you are trading picks 5 years in advance, or like you make your trades and then you need to be even more all in, and then you're doing it anyway, that team is screwed for a decade. A whole decade, that team's going to be screwed.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially that's why Goodell, because everyone hates when the teams are bad for so long. This could set up a team for being bad for so long.
Yes.
So there's no way the NFL wants this, but the owners might. So it's going to be kind of funny to see how this goes down. The NFL owners are also scheduled to vote on the Las Vegas Raiders succession plan that gives this new person, Egon Durbin,
Sure,
the option to purchase a majority stake in the team from longtime owner Mark Davis. So there might be a little bit of change in ownership going on with the Raiders. It's going to get voted on by the other owners. Of course, Tom Brady is involved in the ownership of the Raiders as well. But Mark Davis might be kind of selling some stock here. He's been with that. The Davis family, of course, has been with the Raiders for an extremely long time. We had 2 quarterback moves in the NFL yesterday. We mentioned it earlier. The Vikings are bringing back Carson Wentz. I can't see this as just hey, you're the emergency QB. You're going to be here for training camp, and then we're cutting you. I think we might see a McCarthy deal go down. I could see it.
Yeah, I could see it. I don't know what team is talking themselves into that, though, if the Vikings have been so adamant that they're out on J.J. McCarthy, especially with Kevin O'Connell.
If I'm the New York Jets and it takes like a 4th-round pick for McCarthy, I'm like,
no.
I'm like, screw it.
No, not a 4th. I'm not.
Is that too much?
That's too much. Like a 6th, I'm thinking.
I mean, Fields went for a 6th. 7th?
Yeah, and guess who's a lot younger and on a cheaper deal?
Yeah, so I'm saying he should go for more than a 6th.
Yeah, I guess I see. I wouldn't. I don't know, man. I wouldn't be touching.
What other
JJ.
teams though? I'm just trying to think of any team that's like, you know what? We have a year of like maybe we'll draft a QB. Why not? Let's just have Malik Willis now. There really isn't
what
many
about
other
the Cardinals?
teams.
What if they just swapped quarterbacks?
Cardinals, that could be good. I would do it if I'm the Cardinals. Like, why not? If he sucks, then we'll just draft our guy next year. It's better than just rocking with Brissett. You never know. Like,
I don't think they have extra picks. That's the thing.
True. Yeah, I guess I'm not 100% sure. The other trade that we did see go down, though, was the Philadelphia Eagles are trading a 2027 7th-round pick for Andy Dalton to come be Jalen
Andy Dalton's
Hurts' backup.
just better than J.J. McCarthy, though. So why would he go for anything more than a 7?
I thought you were about to say Andy Dalton is better than Jalen Hurts.
No, he's better than
yeah,
J.J.
but Andy
McCarthy,
Dalton is
though.
like ancient. McCarthy is in year 3.
Okay,
like
so maybe
he's
a
23
6th
years
round pick.
old. Yeah. I feel like McCarthy could go for like a 4th or 5th still. It's pretty early and everything. Okay, that's going to end the news.
Wait, hold on.
What?
Former Detroit Piston, NBA Hall of Famer Dennis Rodman
Oh, you're right. I actually did mention this to you.
is going into the WWE Hall of Fame in April. He notoriously just left the Bulls for a little bit, and then
Why is he going in the and fill me in here?
So he remember during the Last Dance, and if you lived through this, maybe you remember it. He just left the Bulls practice, went to Vegas. You know how you just do that stuff.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Disappeared.
When he was in his disappearing thing, and there was no social media at the time, obviously, so it's not like it's like it is now. He showed up to NWO or as a part of NWO with Hulk Hogan, who was a bad guy in the WWE at the time, and they were the New World Order.
Bad guy in real life too.
Yeah, bad guy in real life too. Also deceased. They showed up and just wreaked havoc on everyone. It was like, these guys own this company. And he showed up with Hulk Hogan and company, and just they were badasses. That's what it was.
And so he's getting his jersey retired for it?
No, he's just going into the Hall of Fame. Everybody. It's like the easiest Hall of Fame to make.
So who are the 2 Hall of Famer guys?
What do you
Because
mean?
he's about to be a double Hall of Famer. Like that's impressive, right? Who's done it twice?
Oh.
Who's been in 2 Hall of Fames? Maybe Kyler Murray should pivot to that. Try to go baseball route.
2 Hall of Fames.
Like he's got to be the first guy to make 2 Hall of Fames.
No, I think there are some WWE guys who have made 2 Hall of Fames.
That's dumb.
Cal Hubbard made the Pro
You
Football
actually
Hall of
found
Fame
this?
and the National Baseball Hall of Fame
What?
in the 63 and 76. Who the hell is this guy?
Shout out to him, man. Football and baseball Hall of Fame. That's pretty wild.
Wait, hold on. I just found an article called 5. Oh, no. I thought they were saying 5 different people are in the WWE and NBA Hall of Fame, but this has got to be the first one of that.
John in our
substance.
YouTube chat says he fought Karl Malone in a tag team match.
That's not true. I think
Okay.
he's lying.
And that's why we're in the news.
I think he's lying. I could be wrong. 989-837-6125. I'll be honest, I don't really know anything about technology. That's why I trust Link Technology in Midland. They handle all the complicated stuff. I'm talking about IT support, cybersecurity, cloud solutions, networking, so I don't have to stress about any of it. Whatever your business needs, their team knows exactly what to do. They want to put you in an easy position so you can understand everything along the way. That's Linked Technology, the experts who keep your business running smoothly so you can focus on what you do best.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Few things to get to before we close out every single show. The first of which is we're going to try to make some money. We're going to try to make some money in March. It's our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
And we were 0 for 3. We needed a big win yesterday. We went with the under in the first half of the first game, Ohio State versus TCU. It hit, not without a little bit of a scare towards the end. We needed a win real bad. But, I don't play to just make up some ground. I play to win. So we're going to try to win the week. I'm calling for the upset. Give me St. John's to lose to Northern Iowa. I'll take Northern Iowa's money line for plus 400. I'm calling that as another 12-5 upset for the day. You know why? Because after we did our MIT bracket yesterday, and I told John about how they're 363rd of 365 teams in total pace, John started freaking out a little bit. After the show, John was like, oh, my God, you kind of freaked me out with that stat. And he was like, yeah, I looked into it a little bit. And he started panicking a little bit. You could tell. So I'm going to ride against the Johnnies today. Sorry, John. Northern Iowa money line. Nothing?
That's my reaction right there.
Are you tailing or are you fading? I don't really understand what
I can't believe this, man. Plus 400. I mean, your picks this week have just been outrageous.
Yeah, but if this one hit, if
this is your third pick of the week that's been plus 400 or longer odds.
Hey, am I not positive on the year?
You're just barely.
Yep.
Just barely.
And even if I lose today, aren't I still positive on the year?
John, I was just kind of stalling to get John's comments on this in the YouTube chat. He says I'm getting rage baited at the gym.
Yeah, no, you for sure are.
Yeah.
But yeah, are you tailing or fading? Because if I hit this week, we just win the week.
Yeah, I mean, you've already – I guess this would win you the week because you're 2.15 units down on the week. So, yes, this would win you the week. So, I guess I respect it going forward to try to get the week back. I am going to tail this pick because I also picked it in my bracket.
Yes, there we go.
Sorry, John.
This is going to be a very low-scoring game. The over-under is 131. That's about as low as you'll see, although the Iowa-Clemson game is 130. So, yeah, I'm going with Northern Iowa to win. It's my lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
As the most watched game on television, here's our game of the day.
Game of the day.
Give me Miami. We got to follow this story, right? I mean, it's Miami 11 seed against Tennessee as a 6 seed. We got to see how this thing plays out. It's been one of the stories all year, at least the second half of the season. I'll take Miami versus Tennessee as a big spread. Or as a big must-watch game.
Okay, yeah, I like this one. Yesterday, I think we did High Point, Wisconsin was what we ended up going with. And
look at us.
For the game of the day. It was a great game, right? So we kind of got to predict the next one. Because in 8-9, yeah, those might end up being a good game. But,
come on, you can't pick that.
Yeah, what, we're picking Utah State, Villanova as the game of the day? Am I lame? We're not doing that. So I'm with you. I like this pick a lot. Miami, Tennessee.
Just ride it out. Let's ride out this story.
It should be incredibly high-scoring game. Over-under here is 148.5, so I guess it's not as high as some of these other ones. Hofstra, Alabama.
One of the highest ones.
Hofstra, Alabama, 159.5.
I got 160 for Purdue and Queens.
See, those don't really count because that's just saying, yeah, Purdue's going to score 95 points.
True.
That's the only reason why those high seed ones are super jacked up.
But UConn Furman's only 135.
Yeah, because they think UConn's going to lose.
UConn is going to lose. All right, that is our game of the day.
Game of the day.
Last thing we have for everybody is guessing what Colin Cowherd opens with. It's been J-Mac all week. I don't have any reason to think Colin's coming back today. Whose turn is it to go first?
I tell you what, Ben, I'm a J-Mac expert. I've cut this to a 3-point game. It's 47-44. Mainly just because he's led with the Lakers every day, and he did that yesterday, and it was obvious. 47-44, episode 200, which means it's an even day, which means it's my turn to go first. What happened last night? Oh, March Madness is going on. Who cares? Lucas scored 60. Lakers again. That's my choice.
I mean, yeah, it's the right pick. It really is the right pick.
Do we even think J-Mac watched March Madness yesterday?
Casually, yeah, I would say so. I'll go Wemby. Wemby and the Spurs. They're the pick out of the West. They don't care about March Madness.
That could be it. The fact that there's no neither of us are picking March Madness is pretty
It's a waste
insane.
of a pick. He's not going to do it.
Yeah, he's just going to be like, oh, March Madness. Oh, great.
I think he says that Wemby is the best player in the league and that they're going to win the West. Okay,
I could see it.
That's going to do it. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. We'll be back on Monday for an awesome show recapping March Madness. Hopefully both Michigan and Michigan State are alive. We'll